Yeah. What's going on, y'all? We're back. Podcast 91. Podcast Dennis Rodman.
The Bulls' Dennis Rodman.
True. 73. Stupidest number ever on the Lakers. But, yeah, so podcast 91. Whole lot to get to. We'll just jump straight into it with NBA. So we had Dame Lillard's Bucks debut, and he balled out.
Dame Dollar.
39, 8-4 in a win over the 76ers, 118-117. Yeah, he looked good. And Giannis did say, this is Damian Lillard's team. So
It's Dame time.
yeah, Dame time. And then we finally had, for the first time since December 25th, 2018, LeBron versus Kevin Durant in a regular season game. And it was electric. The Lakers won 100-95 on two clutch baskets for LeBron at the end. And after the game, the post-game comments from LeBron. So the game before was when I think AD kind of struggled, didn't play too good. They lost. And the media just bashes Anthony Davis. But after the game, they were like, what do you think about all these comments and stuff? And LeBron was like, I don't give a S word. He's like, I know AD don't give a S word. He's like, he don't even get on social media. You don't see him post nothing. He don't even hear it. He's like, y'all keep talking, whatever. Do y'all's thing. I know it's what y'all do for a job, but he's like, none of us care about it.
Nice.
So there's respect.
Great answer.
Yeah. But D-Book and Bradley Beal did not play. Bradley Beal has yet to play for the Suns still. KD had 39 points, 11 rebounds, so he did well. And then AD in this game, he had 30 and 12. And LeBron matched that up with 21, 8, and 9. So they both just balled out. Like, it's insane. Y'all can say glazing, whatever. LeBron doing this is insane. Like, this dude's he's about to be 39 in like a month. That's ridiculous. You should not be able to do this. And then Sunday night, this past Sunday, LeBron played in Sacramento, and it was 20 years to the day of his rookie debut in Sacramento. So it was wild. It was
It's
insane.
a crazy stat.
Then we had the Eastern Conference Finals rematch. Heat at Celtics. Celtics won 119-111. Derek White in his bald head balled out. He had 28.6 boards, 3 assists. He's proven that he's still going to be playing a whole lot. Even with Drew Holiday there, he's still going to need to be on the court. He just played good, though, like, honestly.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. You can definitely tell that Heat took a hit losing Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, because that's kind of what they needed in that game. So it was a tough look, but Celtics are just rolling. They look good. Dylan Brooks, back to his old ways, getting cooked. It's so sad because I like that dude out of college, and now he's just turned into the villain.
Now he's like, he's the villain of the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, he's just having a rough time.
He is. But Wemby and Steph Curry both played around a little bit, toyed on him. So before he played the Spurs, all he said, somebody asked him something about Wemby, and he was like, yeah, Wembanyama, like, he's tall, that's it. You're just asking for it then.
Yeah, he's bringing it upon himself.
Yeah. And Wemby ended up shooting some mid-range shot and then pointed at him after. So he's just asking for it. But then the Steph one was crazy. The Steph one is like going to go on his like actual career highlight.
He had Dylan Brooks lost, then had him jumping, and then just hit a splicky right in his mouth.
Yeah.
So.
And the reaction was priceless too.
Oh yeah.
He was just the goofiest face. But yeah, he did. He made every move you can make in one play. Just had him looking stupid the whole time. But yeah, Dylan Brooks just asking for it really. Like it's insane. And shout out to a former Cat Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Tyrese Maxey. He's been kind of under the radar. Like he was like well known last year for being on that run with them, being like the third option but balling. Mm-hmm. He's on a tear. He averaged 30.3, 6.7 rebounds, 6.3 assists this past week. So it's crazy. He's been balling. But keeping it 76ers, James Harden finally got traded. So he got traded 2 a.m. last night, traded to the Clippers. So, I mean, let me see. I'm pretty sure this one, the Sixers just got everything possible out of this trade. So it was, speaking of that, Keon Johnson, the former Vol, just got signed to the Nets.
Hey, nice.
Okay, so the Sixers got Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington, KJ Martin, multiple draft picks, and a pick swap for James Harden, PJ Tucker, and I don't know this guy, Philippe Petruvis, I don't know. But the Sixers got like everything. They got a bench, and they got like insane amount of picks. So I would definitely say, I would say they probably won the trade, but I'm just honestly, like, I know James Harden's caused all this drama, but like I'm happy for him because I'm happy for him and Russ because they're getting like what they wanted. Russ took that pay cut, now he's going to play with James. Like, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
and there's only one guy allowed for the load management, so they're gonna be duking it out for that. With James Harden, he's like, nah, I want to sit out. I went to the strip club last night, and Kawhi's gonna be like, no, I actually have a torn ACL. Paul George gonna be like, my finger hurts, and they're like, all right, who gets it? But that's gonna be a fun team. I saw their odds did jump like crazy though. They jumped to like the 4th highest odds to win the championship. So,
wow.
The betting sites love them. They like the James Harden edition. And lastly, we talked about the city uniforms last week, and they released courts so they matched courts with the city uniforms for the in-season tournament. So I guess it's more because maybe they'll only use those courts during that tournament, and then like when you see videos or something from that, you'll know it was in that tournament or something. I don't know if that's why they're doing it, but the courts are wild. I was like, one thing that I took away, it just feels criminal to me to see a bright orange court at Madison Square Garden. That just seems odd.
That is.
I like the idea of all these colors and stuff, but that one just kind of a little different to me.
Yeah.
But I liked Indies, just like we said, we liked their uniforms. Mm-hmm. The Hawks, the Timberwolves, like those are both kind of cool. Some of them were bad, I will say.
Yeah, the courts, if y'all have ever played 2K, they look like a My Team court.
Yeah, they actually,
It's like your own customized court, basically.
Yeah, it's just the craziest colors. Like, some teams are like, hey, let that, like, 4-year-old over there decide on this court. That's what they said. But it is cool, though, with the, like, little trophy and the paint, and then the trophy behind the logo at midcourt. So that was cool, but yeah, other than that, it's like the wildest colors possible.
Yeah. So
this is a new segment that we're going to do every week. We'll just start doing this every week. All right, so we're going to find some sports stat of any kind, in any way, like, and we're just going to, like, we're not even going to know what it is for either of us before. So it'll be news to y'all. It'll be news to us. This segment is going to be lost knowledge. Shout out to Cade for the idea. But yeah, so we'll start out. I've got one that's college basketball related. This one was crazy to me. I don't know. I'll see on your reaction on how crazy it is. But Pistol Pete, obviously a guy everybody knows, a legend. He's the all-time leading scorer in college basketball. He's got like 3 of like the top 5 most points in a game, and he did all that without a three-point line. So found this stat. Pistol Pete scored 3,667 points in 83 games over 3 years. If you took the nation's overall top 83 single-game scoring performances in the last 3 years, you would still have over 200 less total points. So he did that by himself.
Dang.
In that time frame. It's insane what he was. And without a three-point line, it's just wild. So if you just took his 3 years and then you just took the best three years of performances, it still wouldn't match up. It's crazy.
That is wild.
Yeah. It's an insane stat.
That really shows, like, what he was doing.
Yeah. That he was just balling. And what was it? Antoine Davis, I think was his name, got close to the record last year, but he didn't end up getting it. And he played like 5 or 6 years. So, Pistol Pete's like the greatest scorer of all time.
Basically.
It's wild. But
heard it here first.
What you got for yours?
So this is a little different. Some lost knowledge. If you remember this wide receiver, very iconic in his time. He, if you know the name, Wes Welker.
Yep.
Yeah, he was very underrated. until he wasn't. He's basically known for playing for the Broncos and the Patriots. That's like his two main teams.
Yeah.
Wes Welker never won a Super Bowl.
Really?
He never won a Super Bowl. So, and the teams that he was on, they either won a Super Bowl like a couple of years right before he joined, or they joined within like a 5-year frame after he left. So, dude was just like allergic to Super Bowl. He did get to play with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, which is like, in my opinion, the two greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game.
Yeah.
So in 2007, Wes Welker joined the Patriots. The Patriots won the Super Bowl in 2004 and 2005. Then he joined the Broncos. I'm gonna say 2013. I think. Yeah, I think it was 2013, and then he ended up leaving a year before the Broncos in the 2015-2016 season, before they won the Super Bowl then. Peyton Manning's last year. Then I think he went to the Rams. And then the Rams won it in 2022. So, it's kind of weird.
That's insane. So he was a 5-time Pro Bowler and 2-time first-team All-Pro, but never
won the...
He also led the league in receptions 3 different times.
Yeah.
And never won the ring. Yeah, he just avoided all of them.
And played with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, New England 2007 to 2012. And then Denver 13-14 and got traded. So 2 years before they won theirs.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. Poor guy, man. I feel bad for him. He got to play with a legend but never got one.
Yeah.
That's insane. He's got to be like one of the rarest.
Yeah.
To like play with those guys and never get one.
And to play with Tom really that long, and with Tom Brady having like what, 9 Super Bowls now? 8 Super Bowls?
What, Tom?
I think he has 8 rings.
Let's see.
I might be way over.
I was thinking it was like 6.
Okay. Yeah, it might be.
7.
7.
02, 04, 05, 15, 17, 19, 21.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's wild. Yeah, there's actually an entire StatMuse like link. Wes Welker didn't win Super Bowls. That's insane.
Yeah.
He played in 3. Never won one.
Never won.
He played in 2008 Super Bowl versus the Giants, 2012 Super Bowl versus the Giants, and the ugly Denver Super Bowl versus the Seahawks.
Yeah.
That's wild. That poor guy, man. I know he's probably still considering like coming back to the league. He's like, all right, I'll just play with like the Chiefs for a year. Maybe I can get one.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, Wes Welker. What a name. He wasn't the biggest guy, wasn't the fastest guy, but
Boy could ball though.
dude could play ball.
He could definitely play ball. Yeah, I like that, man. That's a cool little stat. I did not know that. So for NFL, we'll get into Thursday Night Football first. Bills beat Buccaneers 24-18. And the Bills actually had a good first half. It was first time in a long time.
Yeah.
And the Buccaneers, breaking news, cannot run the ball. So that seems to be an issue in the NFL.
Baker it is.
Yeah. And Dalton Kincaid, with Dawson Knox out, he scored his first career touchdown. So the Utah legend, Dalton Kincaid, scores his first touchdown.
Nice.
Love to see that.
Love to see a first touchdown.
But yeah, the Bills, 17 points in the first half, and then they just gave it up. They won 24-18. But that last one could have been caught too. That Hail Mary by Baker.
Yeah.
So, also, nobody's even like explained this. This is so weird to me. So they were down 24-10. The Buccaneers were. They were down 24-10. They scored a touchdown. Why would they go for 2 right there? Like, why don't they just? Like, what's the
I have no clue.
Because then if you risk it, then you have to go for 2 on that. Like, why not just kick the field goal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. That was just, I was like, maybe I'm just like getting old and like something.
Just losing touch with the game.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it's just been too long, but it made no sense to me.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So yeah, them having 18 was just stupid weird. That was insane.
Yeah.
Then the Dolphins beat the Patriots. They wore the throwbacks, so those were just classic. They beat the Patriots 31-17.
I love the Dolphins throwbacks.
They're beautiful.
Like, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Just to see them.
Those things are absolutely beautiful. And it was good to see Jalen Ramsey back, and he was wearing those in the first game back. So
Yeah.
I also bet on him to get an interception in his first game back, and he got one. So
Jalen Ramsey is just nuts.
He is. I would say it's probably a good addition when you have a guy that just like shuts down inside entire quarter of the field, like Jalen Ramsey. Like, yeah, he's that.
You put him over there, you don't have to worry about much.
Yeah, you're like, no, we're good. We're good on that side. So yeah, like with him back, that's a huge help.
Yeah.
But Tyreek Hill is the first player to reach 1,000 yards or more receiving in their first 8 games of the season. So he continues his just absolute.
Are we gonna see a 2,000-yard season?
Maybe. I mean, honestly, yeah, probably. Like if he just stays healthy. I mean, he just does it like in his sleep now. It's like 100, 120, whatever. But yeah, it's crazy. But they do play in Germany this week, I think.
Yeah.
Versus the Chiefs.
Game in Germany.
That's gonna be awesome. Wait, what time does that kick off? Like, is that also like a 9:30? Because that'd be awesome.
It's an early game. Or yeah.
To just see like Tyreek Hill catch like a 95-yard go ball at like 8 a.m. Let's see what time this one kicks off. Yeah, 9:30 a.m. That's awesome.
Nice.
That's going to be sick. I can't wait for that one. And last week we mentioned Dolphins might be frauds. That'll prove it. If they go there and just get killed, then they're frauds. They just can't compete with the good teams. But yeah, hopefully that's a good game. This is the most important game of the weekend. So
for Kentucky fans.
Yeah. For any other like college football fan outside of Kentucky and any other NFL fan in general, probably couldn't care less about this game. It's just 2 mid teams or worse than mid. Falcons at Titans. So I already liked the game because it was the first game that the Oilers uniforms were coming out. They announced that like preseason. So I was like, I'm looking forward to that game just to see those beauties.
Yep.
The Titans won 28-23. But this was the Will Levis debut. And by the way, I will be ordering a Will Levis Oilers uniform or jersey because, I mean, it's his debut. It's my favorite NFL jersey. I got it.
You got to.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
everything.
It's gonna be about $200.
Yeah, it's $170.
Yeah.
So it'd be tough, but I did make money off Will Levis though betting.
Nice.
Can't lie. His odds were just so low. It was like over under 156 passing yards. I was like, if he's gonna play good at all, he'll get that in the first half, and he did. So. Yeah, he balled out, though. He was the first Kentucky quarterback to start an NFL game since Tim Couch in 2003.
Dang.
So it's been a minute. That's what I'm saying. Like, people, like, I was so hyped up when he got announced he was the starter, and people were like, yo, why are you freaking out? Like, this is why. Like, this
hasn't happened since
quarterbacks don't start in the league. Like, quarterbacks don't even make it to the league for us, let alone start a game.
Yeah.
But, so his career debut. He had a tush push on his first drive. That was awesome. And then they were just like hyping him up there like it's just this tank of a quarterback.
Yeah.
47-yard touchdown, 16-yard touchdown. In the first half, he had as many passing touchdowns as Ryan Tannehill did through his first 6 games. So he was balling out.
It's a flex.
It is. And when Malik Willis came in, this was kind of sad. So, I mean, I've talked about it before. I love Malik Willis. Loved him in college. Hope he pans out at some point. But part of me is rooting against him in this because I want Will to play. His first drive in, which it's not his fault, but it was a bad snap by the center, goes over his head and they fumble it, and the Falcons get it like on their own 20.
Yeah.
So
I think this week definitely proved Will Levis should be the starting quarterback moving forward.
Yeah.
Whether they do that, I have no idea.
So like Malik Willis had that fumble, but then I felt even worse because anytime he would check back in, the fans would boo him.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Like they just wanted Will so bad. So I was like, there's like a part of me that's like, yeah, that's cool. Like Will is getting, but like, you never want to see a player get booed.
Yeah. Like
I don't care who they are. Like that's just
that's awful.
I hate that so much for Malik Willis, but DeAndre Hopkins though, like Kentucky Twitter and stuff was tweeting like a picture of like just Tom Brady, Randy Moss, and it was like the D-Hop and Will Levis duo. But D-Hop after the game said they wrote me off. I feel like Geno. He balled out, though. He had 4 catches, 128 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So he just, I don't know what it was, but he just balled out. He finally got going for his first time as
in a long time.
Yeah. And Will Levis after the game, that was his first game with touchdowns in a Titans uniform for D-Hop. And he said in his post-game, Will Levis was like, we kept saying all week we got to get D-Hop in the end zone, got to get D-Hop a touchdown, why not 3? So, I mean, they got it done. But some of the Will Levis stuff, though, Will Levis, he was 19 for 29, 238 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, and had a 130.5 QBR. He was crazy.
Can't think of a better debut.
Yeah, I can't really either. And there hasn't really been. In the history of the NFL, he's the 3rd QB in NFL history with 4 passing touchdowns in their first game, but he's the 2nd rookie to do it, which this is a bad stat for the Titans. The only other rookie to do it was Marcus Mariota for the Titans in 2015. Not a good look for them. But, so since 1970, a list of players that have had 225-plus yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, and a 65-plus percentage completion in their first game, Will Levis. That's it. He, I know for me, it's kind of just I want to see, it's like a little proud father thing. But, the NFL world's actually talking about this guy. It's crazy. I screenshotted it 5 times. On the TV, on the main screen of First Take is Will Levis. And on ESPN, as soon as I opened the app, it was Will Levis. It was crazy. It was a guy that we obviously talked about him a lot in the offseason with the draft and stuff. And I don't think I remember one person ever other than Mel Kiper and me and you ever talking good about him. It was just all the time. It was just bashing this guy and even if this is just where he peaked and he doesn't even have a good career, just the fact that he gets this the one moment that he just gets to shut the haters up.
Yeah, it meant so much to him because what happened at the draft was terrible.
Yeah, you gotta feel bad for that guy.
They invite him to the draft and then he has to walk out of there. It was just terrible.
Yeah, I felt bad for him that night. This game, and I kept receipts. I started screenshotting stuff in February that people were saying about Will. They were he's gonna suck, he's terrible, cool arm, it's not gonna amount to anything. You're not gonna be a good NFL quarterback. You're not gonna you should not get drafted, whatever. And I have all those screenshots, all of them saved on Instagram stuff. So I went back and smiled this weekend at all those. I was like, yeah. He just shut all of them up. But, yeah, it is one game, so you can't really overreact over it. But, it was so awesome. I wish I could just relive that entire game. That game was awesome. And like I told you, between one other thing that happened this weekend and this, it wiped away what happened Saturday. So, this game did numbers.
Yeah.
So shout out to Will. And that jersey will be on the way soon. Got to get that. They did look beautiful, though, I will say.
Yeah.
Do you think they should be able to wear those? Not being in... do you think the Texans should have those? Because I have a side that, I feel it's an unpopular side. Because everybody says, it's the Houston Oilers and you're in Tennessee, you shouldn't be able to wear those. But to me, it's that organization moved to Tennessee, and they were the Tennessee Oilers for 1 or 2 years, and then they just switched to the Tennessee Titans. Sounded better, and it matched the city. So it's their franchise still. They moved, but I don't know. I just feel I can see an argument for that should be Houston's because it's that city.
I think it should stay with the franchise.
That's what I think, too. I did see people say that, they should move that game when they play the Texans, and they should move that to, Sunday night prime time, and then whoever wins the game gets to keep the uniforms. So that would be...
What a wager.
That would be a cool way to do it. As long as somebody's wearing them.
Yeah.
I guess I heard some people say, would you rather the Titans wear them or, nobody wear them at all, and you just don't get to see them? I was like, yeah, definitely Titans wear them.
Yeah, the Titans.
But... yeah, they did look beautiful, I will say. Jaguars at Steelers. The Jaguars won 20-10, and George Pickens had an electric touchdown once again. He's he's one of my favorite young players in the league by far. And I know both of us out of college, like when he was coming out, we were both very high on him. And his draft stock fell so low because he got hurt. And it's the SEC championship that he got hurt?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Against Alabama. And I don't know if he fell to second round or late first, but when the Steelers picked him up, all my friends that are Steelers fans, I was like, y'all actually got a gem. He's actually so good. And we said it on the podcast, that was the steal of the draft. I'm pretty sure word for word we actually said that was the steal of the draft.
Yeah, we did.
He's panning out. So if you ever need the draft experts, welcome. I mean, I just
Cameron and Cave podcast. Yeah.
I don't know if it's just that we watched him so much in college, but there was just no way he wasn't going to pan out. Yeah. And just the one little injury that happens to 90% of wide receivers, people were tripping over.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was, but he's just fun to watch. He's a blast. That touchdown, I don't even know what he was doing. It was a hurdle that nobody in their right mind would even imagine to do, and it just worked out. So
yeah,
it was impressive. But Kenny Pickett did get injured in the first half, did not return, so we got to see the legend of Mitch Trubisky come in with a rib injury, but it has been announced that Kenny will play Thursday, or I guess tomorrow when the podcast comes out, versus the Titans. But it was honestly, I'm shocked they didn't call a penalty or something on that because
the
late hit. But I don't know. It just seemed a little dirty, and the same call was called the other way earlier in the game, so I was kind of shocked by that. But Jaguars players, so this was kind of interesting. Jaguars players went and took some of the terrible towels. So, for those of y'all that don't know, the Steelers, I don't remember the meaning behind it, but they have the terrible towel and they wave it all the time, just this bright yellow towel. And some of their players went and took them from fans and then just waved them around, when they had won. So it was crazy.
It's the ultimate taunt.
Yeah, it's bold. But like I said, there was a little, I don't know, bad call or something with the Kenny Pickett thing. But Deontay Johnson had some interesting comments after. He said they must have got paid good today or something. They should get fined for making terrible calls. That's how mad I am. They cost us the game. So
wow.
Yeah, he was a little upset. But yeah, I think that game is exactly, no matter who you are, where you are, the AFC North's going to get you. They kicked 3 field goals to start that game, I'm pretty sure, for the Jags. It was the most AFC North game possible, and they just, the AFC North just snatched an AFC South team. They were like, all right, you're going to play our ball. That's exactly what it was. But also a former Cat, Josh Allen is balling out this year. I don't know defensive numbers as well as I do. I don't know how to match those up against the other guys, but he's got some of the best numbers in the league right now. So he's proving to be their best defensive player, even though they drafted Trayvon Walker last year. But he's been balling. And this is the 54th straight game that the Steelers' offense has failed to come close to 400 yards, dating back to the 2020 season. So 400, not 500, not 600, 400.
Yeah, Steelers continue to struggle.
Yeah, that offense has got to figure it out.
Bad. Mike
Tomlin. I mean, they'll probably still just be I don't know, 9-8 this year, just because it's the Steelers. Yeah, they'll figure out how to get right around 500 again. But with that offense, I don't know. I don't know how they don't lose more. If they just can't move the ball like that.
Yeah. I could see them thinking about letting Mike Tomlin go. Just because of how, mediocre they've been. Just, consistently, 500.
Yeah. I think first they just got to get rid of Matt Canada and,
Yeah.
I don't know what the ties are to him, but, how in the world does that man have a job? I promise you, me and you could go.
He must have something.
Yeah, there has to be something there, because me and you could go this week and just call a better game. I promise. It's embarrassing how bad he calls plays.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I guess if they figure out how to win, Tomlin always has an argument to keep him, but it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't add up at all.
No.
But, yeah. don't look now, but the Jaguars have won 5 straight games, the longest streak in the NFL. Yeah, so the Jaguars might actually be legit. Like, I don't remember. So the Bills are one of those 5. At the Steelers are one of those 5. I can't remember the other ones, but yeah, they're like 5-2, I think. So the AFC South is theirs, basically.
Nice.
Jaguars are hot though. Eagles at Commanders. For some reason, this is always just a game. Like, it shouldn't be, but it's just a game every year.
And people hate on the NFC East.
Yeah, for no reason. Nah, hey, it ain't the same anymore.
No.
Okay, the Giants suck, but other than them,
except then.
other than them, the other 3 are really good. Eagles won 38-31, and the tush push didn't work for the first time ever. Like, it was crazy. They ended up fumbling on the 1-yard line. So
yeah,
like, it probably still would have worked if he didn't fumble, but it didn't work for the time. And they added a fake tush push, so now that's terrifying because, like, you already can't stop the tush push. So if you just stack your biggest humans in front of them, then they just can run a fake tush push and then score. Like, they scored on the fake tush push. So I don't know. I think they called it, because they call it the brotherly shove, the tush push, and they called that the brotherly sweep, the fake one. So yeah, it's kind of scary that they have a fake for that now.
Yeah.
And Julio Jones scored a touchdown in 2023. That's crazy. It's insane.
That's wild.
It's crazy. He literally just got signed there like 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he just scored a touchdown.
Touchdown.
It's wild. A.J. Brown, we mentioned it last week. He continues his historic run. 6 straight games with at least 125 receiving yards. Now has more than Pat Studstill and Calvin Johnson. So now he has the NFL record for the most in a row.
As of right now, A.J. Brown has my vote. I would say it's the most, like, just being, like, big and, like, the most dominant wide receiver right now, in my opinion.
Yeah. I was thinking of that the other day, too. Like, he actually hasn't... Obviously, Tyreek's going on a tear right now, but, like, he's got an argument for being, like, the best receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know. Like, with Tyreek, certain teams have figured out how to slow it down and stuff. Like, A.J. Brown, like, we talked about it last week. Like, he'll just kind of, like... He'll sit there in, like, the first quarter. He's like, hey, don't throw me the ball. I'm going to just coast over here.
Yeah, I'm just going to
see. Oh, this game's kind of close. All right, I'll play now. And, like, he'll just go for 130, 140 yards. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how is this happening? But he's just, like, he can block very well. He is a crazy good route runner. 50-50 balls turned to, like, 70-30 balls around him. Like, he's just wild.
He kind of reminds me of Calvin Johnson.
That's what I was thinking, too. Like, when you said just most dominant receiver, that's a lot like A.J. Brown. So
I mean, he's on a lot better team than Calvin Johnson was, but...
Yeah, a lot better. Yeah, very, very much. I think they probably won as many games this year as Calvin Johnson did in his career. But now A.J. Brown's going to go on nuts, though. Sam Howell, he also played, like, one of the best games of the week. This is crazy. He threw 52 passes, but he's 39 of 52, 397 yards, 4 touchdowns with a pick. But yeah, he balled out. Like, I don't know what to think about him because he shows flashes of, like, he's the truth and he's the future. But then he'll have, like, one just stinker and he'll throw for, like, 140 yards and 5 picks. It's like, what are you doing, Sam?
Yeah.
But I'm definitely rooting for him. I hope he does good. But, yeah, he balled out this week. And, yeah, I don't know what it is with the Eagles. Like I don't know if they just have a curse with the Commanders, but it's wild.
Yeah.
And also with that A.J. Brown, did you see his catch that he had in the game? Forgot to mention that. He was like, I don't know if it was supposed to be a back shoulder, but he like turned back shoulder and then it was like still high and he caught it one-handed and then pulled it into like a shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. That was crazy. Yeah, he should not have those hands. But now for your Cowboys, Rams at Cowboys. Cowboys won 43-20 in a game that a lot of social media believed would be close.
Big win.
Not close at all. It was a massive win for y'all. My takeaway, CeeDee Lamb. It's crazy what happens when you get to do the ball.
I was literally about to say that. We finally are using the weapons that we have. Like CeeDee Lamb said, he's always open. And I think that is, he's backing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 receptions, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns for CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, that dude shined. Like, he's so good. Like if y'all could just get him the ball 12 times a game, that would just happen like consistently.
Yeah, he's wearing the number 88, right?
Yeah, he got that number for a reason, and he's proving why. But the craziest thing with this game was y'all were up 10-3 with a minute left in the first quarter, and then 3 minutes later, clock time, y'all were up 26-3.
Yeah,
it was like that was when the block punt was I think that's when the pick six was. And then there was like another touchdown or something. It's like, how in the world, like, this game just blew up. Like, it was crazy. Because I didn't watch this, but I was looking on my phone and I was like, oh, it's kind of close. Like 10-3. All right. Rams doing something. And then it was 26-3.
Yeah.
Like, how? But, yeah, no, it was crazy. Deron Bland, though, third pick six of the season. The record is 4. Eric Allen in 1993, Jim Kearney in 72, and Ken Houston in 71. So we might be on history watch.
Yeah.
With Deron Bland.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy. 3 pick sixes in a season is nuts. But yeah, I guess with Diggs being out, I mean he's
taking over. He's filling the shoes.
Yeah, he's thriving. The Cowboys are the first team with a defensive touchdown, block punt, and defensive safety in a game since the 2017 Dolphins. The last team to do it in the first half was the 2007 Lions versus the Chiefs. So, yeah, the defense.
Interesting stat there.
The defense had their game every couple weeks where it's like, all right, yeah, we'll just absolutely destroy your team.
Yeah,
it's so weird. Like the Cowboys just have a defense that locks in and then takes
slip
over.
up. Yeah.
But it was dominant this whole game.
Yeah. So being dominant that game, we get the win. And as I said 2 weeks ago, I think on the podcast, I wanted the Cowboys to be 5-2, going back to play Philly, little rematch. So we're 5-2. We got Philly this week, so I'm looking forward to that. Not really looking forward to going against AJ Brown.
Yeah,
but hey, we're here for it. If we play like we did against the Rams, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Micah Parsons did really solid this game too.
Yeah.
He had a little bounce back, but yeah, that's the only thing with the Eagles matchup is just having AJ Brown. If you just lock in on him, then there's also just Devontae Smith on the other side, who's also pretty decent at football. So
yeah,
that'll be tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big game coming up. Just because being in the same division, when you play each other, it just means a little bit more.
It does.
You lose, you go back a whole game. So,
what was the series? Y'all beat the Eagles at home last year, right? But then the Eagles beat y'all.
Yeah.
So it's split last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all need to snag one on the road then this year. Vikings at Packers. Vikings won 24-10. And Vikings scored their first rushing touchdown of the season, so it was crazy. Alexander Madison played 6 games, or might have been 5 games without Cam Akers, and Cam Akers played 2, and he scored the first rushing touchdown of the season. But Jordan Addison balled out again, scored another touchdown in this one. But the story of this game is the saddest. This is as sad about an injury as I've been in a long time. Like a player just getting injured. Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles, and he's out for the season. This one crushed me. That was so sad.
Might be it for his career.
Man, I hope not. That dude Kirk, man, he's just the nicest dude in the world.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I was just this upset over an injury. It's why Kirk? Why I got to be Kirk?
Yeah.
But yeah, out for season. And it's kind of crazy because this will be the first time he's ever missed an NFL game due to an injury. The only time he's ever missed an NFL game was due to COVID. So it'll be his first time. So it's sad.
It's terrible.
Yeah. But this was the question, obviously, who should the Vikings pick up? And that question was answered this morning. They signed your favorite, Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was my first thought initially, I was like, there's no, because there was the Jameis Winston rumors, Taylor Heineke, all this stuff. I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet, Josh Dobbs. And then it hit me, I was like, he literally just got traded to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
The week 1 of the season, he got traded to the Cardinals. But, so I looked it up. He got traded to the Cardinals August 24th, and then October 31st, he becomes a Viking.
Yeah. So Josh Dobbs has got to move again.
Yeah. Yeah, good thing. I know on his TikTok he posts a whole lot of just his journey. And I know he only got an apartment in Arizona, so I guess that's good.
Yeah.
So now he's just got to move from his apartment. But yeah, so this is crazy. Which I don't really get this. Kevin McConnell said he said, I don't remember word for word, but he said Jaron Hall is going to be starting over Josh Dobbs this week 1. I guess maybe just a transition thing, but I don't know what Kevin O'Connell's thinking. But I guess they're just going with Jaron Hall. But something interesting that I don't know if you know. So I liked him a lot in college. He went to BYU, but I think it was just I kind of watched him because it was who's going to be following after Zach Wilson if Zach Wilson was that good in college. So this dude's 25 years old. He's a rookie though. So he was behind Zach Wilson, but if you go back, he had committed to BYU his sophomore year of high school. Wow. It was kind of a family tradition. He grew up a BYU fan. So he committed there. He got there, I don't know what class he was, but when he got there, or right after he graduated high school, he went on a 2-year mission trip before he ever went to college. So then he got there in 2018. Then he was the backup, so then he didn't play. So then once he finally went through college and all that, he finally gets drafted this year in 4th round, 5th round, something like that. And then now he's about to make his first NFL start. So he's had a journey. It's crazy. 25-year-old rookie. But
that's nuts.
Yeah, he's in a wild journey. And I don't really get the meaning behind the Cardinals doing this either. What are they getting rid of Josh Dobbs for? I guess Kyler Murray will be back soon. Not this
Josh
week.
Josh Dobbs was playing good for him though. He would be a good backup if Kyler Murray, came back and.
Yeah. But yeah, as of right now, Clayton Tune is the only quarterback on the 53-man roster for the Cardinals. So I guess they're going with also a rookie, Clayton Tune, out of Houston. So I guess he'll just be a filler for 2 weeks till Kyler's back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just weird. They're officially in tank mode, I'd say. If they're getting rid of Josh Dobbs, who was the only light for now. But now I guess their best player is actually Rondale Moore. So it's a weird time for the Cardinals. Texans at Panthers. Panthers won 15-13. Got their first win. Score. It is weird. That's a really weird score. For the 5th time in NFL history, the top 2 QBs square off as rookies. So it's the 5th time ever that this has happened. So it was history, and for the first time in NFL history, the top 3 picks played in the same game together in their first year. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, there's some crazy stats from this one. But yeah, like I said, Bryce Young gets his first win in the NFL. And the Panthers get theirs first. So Bryce kind of leads them down the field. Eddie Pinheiro, Florida legend, hits a game-winning field goal with no time left. And it was a goofy celebration. He just hopped on the lineman's back and then rode down the field. So it was awesome.
Dude took a piggyback ride.
Yeah. But yeah, the video of Bryce Young in the locker room after the game is just awesome. Love to see that. So I guess we had mentioned it a few weeks ago, but obviously the Bears already won theirs. We won't get either team winless in the absolute iconic matchup, primetime game with Bears-Panthers.
Yep.
So we won't get a team without a win. Bengals at 49ers. Bengals won 31-17. So 49ers continue to struggle.
Yeah, 49ers just, dude, they fell off.
They did.
And I can't believe 3 weeks ago I was saying I don't see the 49ers losing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was on that same little hype train. I was like, they might actually just go undefeated. This is actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Now they've dropped 3 straight. So now that Joe Burrow's finally healthy again, he just was balling. Did you watch this game? Did you get to?
I did not get to watch this game.
You probably saw the play on social media or something. He had a play. He dropped back, and his progression was right to left, and he drops back. Then he steps up in the pocket, breaks the tackle, stiff arms Nick Bosa into the ground, and then rolls out, gets decked by Dre Greenlaw, or I think it was Dre Greenlaw. And he just throws an absolute dime to T. Higgins. It was crazy.
I did see that play. I didn't get to see the game, but I saw that.
That play was nuts. Like, if you just stiff-armed
I was
Nick
like,
Bosa.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
I didn't know Joe had it like that, but yeah, it was crazy. 8 straight wins over an NFC opponent for Cincinnati, and this is a crazy stat. All 4 wins for the Bengals this season have been against the NFC West. So they've just beat the Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, and Niners now. So
Nice.
they own the NFC West. And like we mentioned, 3rd straight loss for the 49ers. So Micah Parsons on his what is it a podcast that he does on like Mondays?
Yeah, it has like a. I guess it would be like a podcast.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, he was just like the NFL has a weird way of humbling.
Or it's like he like streams, but
Yeah.
he just like talks.
Yeah, I don't know what it is really, but yeah, he's got a point though. NFL will just humble you, no matter what it takes. So yeah, the Niners are just in shambles, but all it's gonna take is like one game, and they'll be
back.
Yeah, they'll be good. But Christian McCaffrey scored. Shocker. Now it's been 17 straight games with a touchdown, including the playoffs, matching Lenny Moore in 63 for the longest streak in NFL history.
Did you see when he scored this touchdown? He was gonna spike the ball, but then he stopped.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna keep this ball.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
He's
smart.
like, I'm not letting go of this football.
Yeah, dude. CMC, I mean, you gotta try to hate that guy. I feel like if you don't like CMC, like, okay, well, I could understand if like a Cowboys fan didn't like him, or like an inner like division team or something, but like, I don't know how he's so likable. Like, you can just see all these videos of him off the field, and he's so good at football. he does everything. He's just crazy. But yeah. So shout out to CMC for that one. And today, also before the trade deadline, the 49ers signed Chase Young, former number 2 pick in 2020, for like a 3rd round pick or something. Like, that's not even fair. When I saw that pop up, I screenshotted it immediately.
I didn't think it was real.
I thought it was for sure fake. How in the world did they get away with, like...
That'll help the 49ers, though, to maybe get over this hump.
Yeah. And I mean, like, yeah, he's not been number 2 pick worthy in his career so far, but, like, if there's any team that's going to get number 2 out of you, that's going to be the 49ers. Like, he's going to absolutely go nuts. Like, he'll probably
I have a feeling he is.
He'll probably just turn into, like, one of the best, like, rushers in the league, like, in 2 years.
Turn into a Bosa?
Yeah, that's what's scary, too. He's like, he'll be on the opposite side of Nick Bosa. Like, what are you supposed to do? So, yeah, just quick prayer for the opposing quarterbacks in the future for the 49ers, because, it's not fair. But, and it's kind of cool. Chase Young and Nick Bosa played 2 years together in college, so they already kind of know each other. So that'll probably help. But, the fact that they have all these guys on defense is just not fair. Like, I don't know who let these dudes get Chase Young, but somehow they did. And today, Josh Harris kind of just blew the Commanders up because he got rid of Montez Sweat too.
Yeah.
So he's just getting picks, and they're gonna figure it out now. But and he also owns the 76ers, so he traded 3 basketball players last night. So he's just like all in on just rebuild, basically.
Dude's going crazy.
Yeah, he's going nuts. Then we had Browns at Seahawks. Seahawks actually won this one, 24-20. Seahawks throwback uniforms were beautiful, gotta say. Those were absolutely beautiful. And the Seahawks came out hot. They went up 14-0 real quick. And Geno also had a crazy play. Breaking tackles in the pocket, rolling out to the left, throwing it. I think it was Tyler Lockett in the back of the corner. But yeah, they came out hot and then kind of just coasted. And that's where the Browns will get you because their defense is so elite. But Jackson Smith and Jigba got that go-ahead touchdown with 40 seconds left to take the lead. So the Browns could not get it done there. And the Seahawks moved to 5-2 now. It's crazy. They're kind of just a sleeper. Mm-hmm. Just out there, like minding their own. But, yeah, it's wild. Chiefs at Broncos. The streak is officially over. Broncos won 24-9. Chiefs had won 16 straight games against the Broncos before that.
It's crazy to do in the NFL.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes had literally never lost to the Broncos. That's just a wild thing. Like, I can't believe that. But, yeah, a little shout out to another podcast. I will be listening to New Heights this week because of this. Like, I listen to him, like, every couple weeks or whatever. But to hear, like, Travis Kelce's thoughts on this game, I just wouldn't know what he's going to say. Like, it's going to be crazy. Like, losing the Broncos for him is probably, like, so weird.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Travis Kelce in this game only had 58 yards, and Taylor Swift was not there. So,
that's freaky.
Yeah, that might be the thing. That might be it. And Patrick Mahomes was awful in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, his stats still, like, don't necessarily show it. 24 for 38, 241 yards, but 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. It's not good.
Not like Patrick Mahomes.
No, very unlike Pat. But Patrick Mahomes had also gone 29 straight games with a passing touchdown, which now has snapped that streak. So,
Oof.
29 straight games is insane to throw a passing touchdown. That's ridiculous. But
that's wild.
Yeah, Tennessee legend, though. Peyton Manning was the last quarterback to beat the Chiefs until now.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. So, yeah, like I mentioned, for the first time since September 17th, 2015, Alex Smith was starting for Kansas City at the time, and like I said, Peyton Manning was starting for the Broncos. The Broncos finally beat the Chiefs. First time since 2015. That's crazy. Like, it's just... I just feel like there can't be that many streaks in sports like this.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably one in basketball where somebody's won, like, 7 straight, but, like, that'll end. But, like, this is just insane. Like, I don't know how this is even... How do you let this streak go on? Like, this is crazy. Like, the Broncos... there was 4 Super Bowls between these two teams in that time frame. It's wild. But, shout out to the Broncos DJ. He played Taylor Swift after the game. So,
Hey.
spot on. He knew the assignment. But the Chiefs had, obviously, they had won 16 straight over the Broncos. Mahomes had never lost to them, blah, blah, blah. But they had never lost a divisional game on the road either. So they were 16-0. And they had never lost to a team under Patrick Mahomes with a 500, or with a team that was 2 games under 500. So the Broncos, obviously, they were terrible. Like, I don't even know what their record was going into this. But they were undefeated in that. They were 25-0. And so, like, every streak possible just ended with this rivalry.
Sucks.
Yeah. Feel bad for the Chiefs, but not really because they'll just win the Super Bowl or something. But Sunday Night Football, we had Bears at Chargers. I don't know what their deal is with giving us these games, but...
yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, they give us something. But Chargers won 30-13. Chargers just kind of dominated. And... it kind of ended at half. Justin Herbert in the first half, he was 21 of 25, 212 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 141.6 passer rating. So, it was kind of wraps at half. And then Tyson Bagent, his Linsanity run, ended after 1 game, unfortunately. In Monday Night Football, we had Raiders at Lions. The Lions ended up winning this one... They won by like 12, I think. It was some weird score. They won 26-14. But the blue helmets looked sick, I gotta say.
Yeah, I like them.
For the Lions. I don't remember.
They look good.
I think they're not a throwback because they never use... I think they used that logo on something else, and then they combined with like Ford or something to make like that type of helmet or something. But yeah, they rocked. I liked those helmets a lot. And Raiders, in the first half, did not complete a single pass to a wide receiver. So it was already a bad start for them.
If I was a wide receiver, I would demand a release.
Yeah, I'd get out of there ASAP. But this was Jahmyr Gibbs' breakout game. He had 26 carries, 142 yards, 37 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Like the whole game, he was just balling. And him and Craig Reynolds, like together, it's sort of just thunder and lightning from the mid-2000s USC team. Like, they're just an insane duo for the Lions right now. But, so let me get this tweet from RG3. So, obviously, didn't complete a single pass to a wide receiver in the first half. Devontae Adams ended the game with 1 catch, 11 yards. And that's the Devontae Adams that 2 years ago.
His talent is getting wasted.
Yeah, and it's so sad because, like, he's not even playing with the quarterback he went there for. Like, it's... So this was the exact words of RG3. Raiders should do Devontae Adams a solid and trade him. He deserves it. He came there to play with for his favorite team. They got rid of the QB he came to play there with, and he had one catch tonight. So, yeah, it's just a dysfunctional organization right now.
They should trade him. They're not using him.
Yeah, and he's so talented. Like, last night, he was so open multiple times, and Jimmy G would just launch it over his head. It was like that meme of the shortstop going to field it behind second base and then does a little spin and throws it and hits the ump. Yeah, that's what Jimmy G looked like last night. Like, he just can't. I don't know. It proves more and more that Jimmy G was just a plug guy for the Niners and that he just actually sucks.
Yeah. If I was the Raiders, I would trade Devontae just for some picks. Like, just rebuild.
Yeah.
Honestly. At this point, yeah.
Fire everybody. Yeah, just rebuild. Because, like you said, like they're just wasting Devontae's talent. And you only have, as a wide receiver, you're only at that peak for so long.
Yeah.
Like
that's what NFL stands for, not for long.
Yeah. And that not for long, you fall off. Bad. Like, you go from being, like, a top 5 receiver to, like, looking like you should probably just be in a wheelchair and, like, not play football anymore. Like, that's just, like,
yeah.
I don't know. They just look like they can't move once they're out of their prime. They got to get that dude out of there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, like, as soon as, like, there's, like, a demanding a trade or something from Devontae, there'll be, like, Chiefs teams making uniform concepts or something for him. But knowing how other receivers have done it, he'll probably just go to the Titans or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
Probably.
Yeah, he'll probably just end up there somehow. But Week 9 college football, it was a wild one. Starting in California, USC escapes Berkeley. They barely beat Cal 50-49. But the weirdest thing, I don't even know what it was. I didn't really care to research on it. There was a protest in the middle of the game and it got paused.
What?
Yeah, some people went and sat on the 50-yard line, and like the game was just stopped.
No shot.
Yeah, it was wild. I was so confused because I didn't watch it live. I just seen it, and it was like the game is now stopped for protest. So
what?
Yeah, I have no idea. It was wild.
Huh.
But yeah, USC was down 43-29 in the fourth and battled back and won. And Cal pulled the Brian Kelly, where they went for 2. So they tied it, or they went down. They got to 49 points. They can kick the extra point, get to 50 or whatever, tie it. But then they went for 2 because, like, Brian Kelly, like he said, you give me a chance to beat this Alabama team last year. I'm going to go for 2 every time. They went for 2 and they failed. So it was tough. And honestly, that 2-point conversion was the best defense USC played all day. So it's a bad look. USC sucks on defense.
Yeah.
Like Washington,
bad.
Like if Washington actually shows up this week and plays like actual football and plays well on offense, they might hit triple digits. Like USC can't stop a parked car. It's bad. It's really bad. I don't know if you saw this one. I didn't get to watch this one, but it was a game that I had in my notes. Colorado State versus Air Force. Number 19 Air Force, obviously still undefeated. But Colorado State student section got a 15-yard penalty for throwing snowballs at Air Force.
It was like, I'm pretty sure it was like a blizzard.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, it was bad. But the funniest thing with that was like they got a warning for it in the first half, and then they kept doing it. So then they got moved to the 16th row.
Yeah,
to
they
where
got moved
couldn't.
back.
Yeah, that was goofy. Because you know ain't nobody else there. Like
No.
it's like 12 degrees outside. Nobody's going to show up for that. But, yeah, it was crazy. And the score, honestly, they might cost their team the score because it was 13-13 when they got their warning, and then they ended up losing 30-13. So,
Oh my god.
the snowball curse. It's just karma.
Curse.
It's karma. And Clemson has lost again. So Clemson lost at NC State 24-17. Clemson lost back-to-back games now for the first time since 2011. Clemson's just in shambles. It's bad. It's so weird to see this.
Will they make bowl eligibility this year?
Surely. They got to play. No,
That would be crazy.
They play at South Carolina. That game you can just lose being anybody. I don't know. Surely they'll make it. They're in the ACC. They'll make it.
Yeah,
They'll make
you're
it.
right.
Surely.
You're right.
But yeah, Clemson is now 4-4. This is an insane stat. From 2018 to 2020, Clemson had lost 3 games total. And in the next 3 years, so from 2021, 2022, 2023, they've lost 10. So it's wild. It's crazy time in Clemson, South Carolina. But did you see the Steve Smith comments? He was the celebrity picker on College Game Day, like when he made the picks.
Yeah.
So he said, Clemson has been struggling. They're not the Clemson we've loved over the years, but NC State, unfortunately, they're waiting on basketball to start. So he picked Clemson, and then after the game, Coach Doran, the NC State Wolfpack head coach, he said, tell Steve Smith in the studio this ain't a basketball school, and he can kiss my AWS.
Wow.
Yeah, cool. That's a drop the mic moment for Coach Doran.
For sure.
But, yeah, I'm pretty sure Steve Smith ended up, like, apologizing or something. He's like, hey. He basically said, I apologize. I was not familiar with your game. So, like the Shaq meme.
I was not familiar with your game.
But, yeah, now NC State, man. I mean, I didn't think it was going to happen because I was like, dude, NC State's not good. But it turns out Clemson's even worse. So, it's a tough moment. And we'll even talk about Clemson this week because it's still a big game that they have coming up. But, yeah, this one. So, I've talked about it before. I think it was the week you weren't on last was when I was talking about the Stoops comments from this radio show.
Yeah.
So he does like a Monday radio show for those of y'all that don't know, and kind of just like has fans asking questions and stuff. And so I didn't know that they did it, but it's called like Tiger Talk. And Dabo Sweeney does it. So on Mondays at 8 p.m. they have some radio show and fans can just call in, ask stuff. And I guess Tyler from Spartanburg was just I don't have the clip of what that guy asked, but he said something that triggered Dabo, and Dabo went off. Yeah, Dabo ripped into him. Like, he let him know. And Dabo, he's not a guy that cusses a lot, and he cussed a few times in that. And he called Tyler a smart A-word kid. And he was like, you ain't going to talk to me like I'm 12 years old. He's like, if you don't want to come to a game or never watch Clemson football or even be a fan, go ahead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and like you said, kind of makes you gain some respect for Dabo.
Yeah.
I love Dabo as much as anybody. I love that. Like, yeah, he probably shouldn't have said it because, like, ripping your fan base is probably just never a good look in any form. But, like, you can let somebody just talk to you like that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, if there's just some fan bashing you, bashing your program. Like, he brought it up multiple times in that call. We've won 10-plus games in 12 straight years. And that's only happened 3 times across the country. So, I don't know. It was crazy.
Respect to Dabo.
Yeah, he went off on him. And then whoever that guy was at the end, he just said, amen.
Amen.
Yeah, correct. Correct, sad. We didn't mention this game last week, but it was big. Kansas, again, is hot. But I thought they were frauds because Jalen Daniels is out, so it's Jason Bean starting for him. But Kansas was hosting number 6 Oklahoma, and they beat them 38-33.
Yeah, that's a shocker.
Yeah. So there's this stat. Kansas went 0-9 in 2020, and just 3 years later they're 6-2, and ranked in the top 25, and just handed number 6 Oklahoma their first loss of the season.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. Lance Leipold. I mean, he was in the talks for like Coach of the Year last year, but like they started out 6-0, finished 6-6, whatever. Like he's even just figuring it out with backups now. Like he's just a good coach.
Yeah,
he's just getting things done in Lawrence. But Kansas took notes from Tennessee last year, and they took the field goal to their nearest water source.
I know I've seen that somewhere.
yeah. So Kansas took the field goal post down and put it in Potter Lake.
Nice.
Yeah. I saw some like girl on like Twitter like ripping them. I was like, bro, let the kids be like, let they're college students, bro. Just let them like live. Like, I feel like I don't remember anybody saying anything to Tennessee like people last year about like they just rocked.
No.
It's just cool.
It's just tradition.
It's in the river now. Like it's awesome. Like and now theirs is in a lake.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just
it's expensive though.
Yeah, it is.
Goalposts are expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
was it like $75,000 that y'all had to pay last year?
$75,000 a goalpost.
Worth every penny.
Worth every single penny.
Yeah.
I would do it again.
Yeah. I mean, easy. No doubt about it. Hey, if y'all beat Georgia this year, you will have to do it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the upset, the Jayhawks now just got their first win against an AP top 10 team since 1984. So it's their first win at home versus a top 10 team since '84. It's crazy. It's wild. Like I mean, Kansas for the longest time was just an absolute joke of a football program.
Yeah, for football, yeah.
Yeah. Like we're just actually like, all right, well that's basically a bye week. That's like the week you just like, I don't know. The only Kansas memories I have obviously in 07 they were nuts for no reason. Other than that, like since then, the only memory was like when they didn't shake Baker's hand, and then Baker grabbed his parts and they put up like 80 on him. It was.
And now Baker lives rent free in their head.
Yeah, he definitely haunts them for football fans there.
Yep.
Number 17, North Carolina drops their second straight game to Georgia Tech, 46-42. UNC started out 6-0 this season. Now they dropped 2 straight, so it's bad. They fell off big time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Georgia Tech took the lead with 4:28 left, and USC just couldn't get back in the end zone. But they threw the ball to Tez Walker late in the game, which Tez Walker, we've talked about him, just awesome guy. Like he battled all that eligibility stuff, and then finally got eligible, and then just balled out right away.
Mm-hmm.
But he took a lick in the red zone and fumbled, and that was about as close as they got again. But he, from that hit, got taken to the hospital. It was kind of like a blindside hit, kind of dirty. But then Coach Mac Brown said he was aware and talking late that night after the game. So he ended up being good. But yeah, it was a tough one. It was a tough loss for North Carolina, and they were like a 15, 16-point favorite in that game. So it's a bad loss. 2 bad losses back to back. I thought for sure Drake May was just going to go out and throw for like 400. They were going to win by like 60.
Yeah.
Like coming off a loss.
Yeah,
but
Georgia Tech's not good.
Yeah, they're bad. They're really bad. Then we had Pac-12 after dark. Arizona beat number 11 Oregon State 27-24. Noah Fafita continues to ball out. 25 for 32, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Did you see the Oregon State fake field goal before half?
No.
I don't remember what the score was at the time, but it was like 4th and like 16 with like 20, or no, it's like probably like 10 seconds left, and they just faked it. Like so they lined it up all normal, and then they snapped to the holder, and he just tossed it up to the kicker, and he like tried to run through like B gap or something, and got like 11 yards, but then it just like went into half, and it was like you had 3 points right there for the taking, and which honestly ended up haunting them.
Yeah,
ended up screwing them over, but first win versus a ranked opponent at home since 2018, and back-to-back ranked wins for the first time since 2014 for Arizona. So Arizona hasn't made a bowl game since 2017, and now they're 1 win away from one. So good times in Arizona. I mean, they're balling, and Arizona State is a lot better than people projected them to be this season. So yeah, that game might end up being really good. I can't remember the name of that bowl. Or their rivalry game. Oh no, that's gonna kill me. It's something with like a desert, or it's something with like being hot. Arizona State rivalry name. Duel in the Desert.
Duel in the Desert.
Yeah, awesome name.
Nice.
And then we had this week, so we had also a sick name for a rivalry, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Yeah.
That one rocks. So number 1, Georgia versus Florida. We both took Georgia. Georgia won, 43-20, pretty handily.
I was close. I said Georgia 41-20.
2 off. If it wasn't for that blocked punt, you would have had it.
Yeah.
Spot on. So you were like, all right, truly there won't be a blocked punt, and then so you basically got it right though.
Yep.
Tim Tebow, which I'm surprised this is the first time he's had to do it. I'm pretty sure it's the first time the way he acted on SEC. What is it? SEC in the morning or something, where he made his picks. He ended up taking Georgia in this game, and you could just tell it crushed him. But like, there's no way this is the first time he's taken Georgia in the last 5 years.
Yeah. For
Georgia, Florida.
He picked Tennessee when we played.
Really?
We played Florida this year.
Yeah, I mean that's got to hurt him. I guess like. He's got some crazy games versus Georgia in his career, so I'm sure he kind of just hates Georgia. But, you could just tell that one hurt him. And then they panned to the fans, and the Florida fans were absolutely crushed.
Dude.
They were in shambles.
You looked at their face on TV, like, crushed.
Yeah, they were absolutely despised. But, yeah, obviously Georgia, no Brock Bowers for them. But Florida came out hot. They scored on their opening drive of the game. Then Georgia continued to show why they're number one in the country and they won 25 straight. Ladd McConkey. So I think he came back in the Auburn game, and he played against us, and then they had a bye week, and so this was really the first game that he showed fully healthy. Ladd McConkey's back, and I think without Brock Bowers, it was kind of needed for him in this game. He scored his first touchdown of the season, 6 catches, 135 yards, and he every time they got him the ball, he turned something out of nothing. That first touchdown that he had, I mean, it was just using your mind. All right, so you're crossing into the middle of the field, and then you get a slow linebacker on you, and you're just faster than him. So then he just cut opposite, and then once he caught it, he just went out left and then scored. So, having Ladd McConkey is dangerous for them. I've also bet the over on his receiving yards. Easiest money I've ever had in my life. So, 135 yards in that game. So, Ladd McConkey was balling. And I think it kind of hurt for Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint because he had 1 catch for 6 yards. So, obviously, if one guy's feasting, one guy's not going to, and that was the one that had to sacrifice. But 4th and inches to start the second quarter. We also had a fake tush push in college football this time. Did you see this one, the fake one for Florida?
Yeah.
Where Graham Mertz went under and then they just snapped it through to the running back. Obviously didn't work. Probably don't try that against Georgia for your first time.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, because Trevor Etienne was 7 yards back. So now he has to go 7 yards versus the best defense in the country. So, it didn't work, to say the least. But Carson Beck, 19 for 28, 315 yards, 2 touchdowns. He just continues to just fill what Stetson had. He's just so impressive.
He's being a Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah, because in that Auburn game, obviously he wasn't the needle. Brock Bowers completely brought them back single-handedly. But when he played us, he threw for 350, and then he's just balling. I don't know what else to say. He's exactly what they need. And we'll talk about the playoff rankings later. But if they make the playoff, I don't see why he can't do what Stetson has done the last 2 years and win them a championship. But the 43 points from Georgia were the most they've scored against the Gators since 1982. And as I mentioned, they've won their 25th straight game. That's got to be annoying at some point. You can't just enjoy winning that much. You can be I wonder what it's like to lose. Because they literally haven't lost since December of 2021. That
is wild.
Yeah. They haven't lost a game since that SEC championship versus Alabama. And then, if you just take away that game, they were 12-0 in that regular season. So, I don't even want to know what it was before then.
And they've had some close games.
They have. They've had some close ones. But, that Missouri one last year, they should have lost.
Yeah.
They're nuts. It's literally it's a machine. It's what we thought the Niners were. That's what Georgia is.
Georgia's filling those shoes.
Yeah, Georgia has that role. Number 20, Duke. At number 18, Louisville. I was actually in attendance for this one. I don't know if I told you that. But, boring, I will say. It was bad. Louisville won. I could care less. I went as a neutral. I was I'm just going to judge my entire experience. Boring. Yes, it was a 3:30 game. How do you not get up? It's number 20. If this is a ranked opponent, I know for Tennessee and I know for Kentucky, if it's just a team with a number by the name, it's a sold-out crowd. That place is jumping. You give me a noon kickoff, and it'll be sold out. People screaming. There'll be, people drunk somehow already. This one was, at kickoff, 50% capacity. By, the end of the first quarter, 70, 75. Shout out to the DJ, though. I will say, DJ did a good job. But too bad they just couldn't have a crowd to help them.
That's terrible.
But I just don't know how you don't show up. It's number 20 Duke. Riley Leonard's playing. I don't get it.
They need something to bring. With Louisville playing good, you would think people would
show out or something. Yeah, and it's the ACC. You don't get many ranked opponents. That I just don't. They added that massive section after Lamar's Heisman year, and there's probably been one time that's ever been filled. Maybe the Notre Dame game, it was probably filled, but it just if that game's not going to be really important to you as a fan base, then obviously hang it up.
Yeah.
Like, this ain't for you. But Louisville dominated, though. So that was good for them. They won 23-0. And like I said, Riley Leonard played, but he was not fully healthy, and it showed because he had in that Clemson win he had like 100 rushing yards, and had something like that in the Notre Dame game too, when they played them. But he had like 13 yards rushing in this one, so I think it was kind of just set up like Louisville was going to win this no matter what with a injured Riley, and he kind of got banged up again, so. I'm definitely just hoping he can get healthy because he's got such a bright future with how, I mean, I don't know if like other people have talked about him the same way Mel Kiper has, but Mel Kiper has him as like the 4th best quarterback. I think that's kind of crazy, but yeah, he's going to get drafted. So I hope he kind of just gets healthy. And I mean, they've had a solid year so far. But this one, we had a fake flea flicker. I've never seen this in my life. Have you ever seen a fake flea flicker?
No.
So the running back got the ball. It was Jawar Jordan, and he ran up the middle, went to go toss it back, and he just faked the toss back. And it ended up running for 35 yards. Yeah.
I would never have thought that would work.
Yeah, in my head, I would just be like, yeah, there's definitely a defensive lineman right there when you turn around.
Yeah.
Waiting on you. He's just waiting. But somehow, I don't know if like a certain guy's pulling to avoid that or something. But if I'm that running back, I'm just crapping my pants right
now. I would be terrified.
Yeah. I've never seen a fake flea flicker. So that's definitely the first time. But Jawar Jordan, 21 carries, 163 yards, 2 touchdowns. Honestly, I hate to say it, but he's probably like a top 5 running back in the country right now. Like Tennessee has an argument for like 3 of them. But yeah, obviously I'll take Blake Corum, Braylon Allen, Ray Davis, and Jawar Jordan are arguments for those others. Like Jawar is just very good at football. Like every game he's on some crazy streak like Ray Davis is too, where he just scores every game somehow, and he's been over like 100 yards multiple times. I don't think he played against Pitt when they lost, so he might be their secret recipe though.
Maybe
they lost that one. This is the first time that Louisville has had consecutive wins against ranked opponents in a single season since 2006. So, Louisville. I mean, they're hot. They're hot. It's been a minute. So, yeah, we got the most important game of last week, and I'm sure we'll spend some time on this one. Number 21, Tennessee at Kentucky, and the Vols won 33-27. So, at halftime, it was 23-17 Vols. But, so I need your thought, because you were at the game. I didn't end up going. At the end of the half, what did you think, and what did you think is from the crowd perspective of that catch? That, like, it was called a catch.
Dude, I was wondering what they were saying on TV. Because
I mean, I'll be honest. They said there was no way that was a catch. Like,
okay.
Both the commentators were. There was like, how in the world is there a catch there?
Yeah. I was like, my phone was not working during the game. Like, I had no service, and I was trying to pull it up because I was like trying to hear what the TV people were saying. In person, not a catch. Like, it was obvious, and I wasn't even like, I mean, I was in the lower bowl, but like I wasn't. It was on the far other end. But, like, from my seats, you could tell it wasn't a catch.
Yeah.
But we got the call. I was like, great call. Yeah, and I knew it was a bad call.
Because that was my question. I was like, I wonder what the stadium's saying right now. Because, like, obviously they show the replay.
Oh, y'all booed the rest of, like, y'all booed for a while.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I was heated. I ain't gonna lie. Because, like, at first I was like, yo, no, he's not in. But then I was like, okay, maybe even if his toe was down. I was like, even if his toe was down, he was bobbling it. He didn't fully catch it until he was like into like the third row of players on the sideline. I was like, what in the world?
Yeah, at first we were like, well, maybe he got his back foot down. Well, then they showed the replay on the big screen. No, not really.
Yeah, no. And honestly, I don't think I've seen anybody like argue that it was a catch because I just think, I don't know. But it ended up costing us 3 points. Like, obviously, there was still another, like, 2 plays after that to get into field goal range, but it was just kind of like, That was like 3rd and 16.
Yeah,
And
I'm pretty
it
sure
was-
y'all were still booing like at halftime.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Like
probably.
there were some Kentucky fans like behind me. They were like, "Let it go!" Like, "Oh my gosh, why are we still booing?" And then there was some that was like, "That's terrible." And at halftime, like 5 minutes left to return from halftime, they're like, "That's terrible." It was
Yeah, dude, that's spot on. Yeah, that's Kroger. But yeah, no, I was so mad. And I just feel like that's one of those things that like I know like y'all have had situations like that too, where it's like the refs make this call and it just completely shuts your like defense down. It's like, man, we made that stop and it got taken away because it was like third and like more than 10.
Yeah, it was like 3rd and 16.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, props to Joe Milton and who was it that caught it or like caught it, but.
Because Dante Thornton?
It might have been. Because it was an impressive catch. Like, just even coming down with it was impressive.
It was Dante Thornton.
And then it was just impressive play by Joe, but, like, it wasn't a catch. That one just, like, shot our defense in the foot. Like, that one just hurt. But
like, we were expecting, like, waiting for the call. Like, we were expecting, like, it to be ruled not a catch. And then he said play stands. Dude.
You're like, yeah, good call, ref.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, yeah, good call. Yeah.
That was my thought. Because I had it. So I was like getting home from that Louisville Duke game, and so I had it on my phone. And I was watching it as I was driving. Drive safe, by the way. But I was watching it, and I was like, "Oh, that's easily out." And then I heard it, and then it was like, because I was on my way to my grandparents, and both the announcers, then they call in Gene Steratore, and like all three of them were like, "There's no world where that's a catch. There's absolutely zero chance on earth they call that a catch." And then there was somebody else that had came in. They're like, "That's not a catch. Not going to happen." So I was like, okay, there's 4 of them. And then I also agree. I was like, even if I look at this unbiased, there's no way. So then they're still reviewing it. So I put my phone down. I talked to my papa. And then I looked back up and it said, it was right when the ref walked out and he was like, play stands. And I was like, there's actually no way. I was like, this has to be a joke. I was like, can you challenge it again? Because I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, that was... Tennis, we got by with one on that one.
I was crushed. That one I just think like I don't know, like you don't get to, like your motivation taken away, but like I just feel like the defense right there was just like, well, there goes that. We played so good, and then that happened. But
I knew going into this game like it wasn't going to be a blowout either way. Like I knew it was going to be a dogfight.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of them are. Like for Kentucky, Tennessee, like like last year was not. In
recent years,
like there's been a couple that weren't, but like the one 2 years ago at Kentucky, y'all won like 45-42. Like they're always just close. But yeah, this game I will say like I don't know how much you've like just sat there and like watched like through a Kentucky game like this year, but like we ain't been able to throw the ball the entire year. Like that's just been one thing, and we could not have played better offensively in this game. So that's just got me like optimistic. I'm just an optimistic guy in general. This one shot my optimism through the roof. I was like, hey, if we play like this, we win out. I was like, yeah, there's no joke. But like Devin Leary was 28 for 39, 373 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks.
Devin Leary looked good.
He looked very good. That was his second most he's ever thrown in a game, I think, in his career. Like
the Kentucky fan I was sitting by, he was like, I can't believe Devin Leary's playing this good. He's like, it's about dang time.
That's exactly how, like during like commercials and stuff, I would just go to my phone and like see what people were saying. They were like, oh my gosh.
Or they were saying like, this is how he was at NC State. And like you've said before on the podcast, y'all going like kind of slower.
Yeah.
I think he's used to going fast. And y'all were playing fast.
Yeah, a whole lot faster. In this game.
And he started finding his rhythm. And our secondary, man, exposed.
Dude.
I don't know what's up with our secondary. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, that was one thing going into it, too, because we had talked about it last week. Like, it was like Tennessee's like box is just, like, run-wise. And I don't know why people thought Ray Davis was going to go for, like, 250. But, like, we both had mentioned, like, it's going to be tough to run no matter what. But then you had mentioned multiple times, like, your secondary, like, if we were able to throw a ball.
It's got some holes in it,
Yeah, if you were like if we were able to throw it at all, it'd be a nervous thing for y'all. But I was shocked. It was crazy.
It was just like out route, come back, out route. Like it was like the same like 2 or 3 plays, and we just No answer for the comebacks and out routes.
And like I just know from like my perspective, like I guess it's from like playing the position. Like you can just like I watch like the little things. Like I'll watch the back of his helmet or something on certain plays, and like he was just going through progression. Seemed so comfortable like the whole time. Like he was just. I was shocked y'all didn't like sack us like 85 times. Like our line's a lot better than it was last year, but I was just like between somebody like what is it, Norman Lott, Tyler Barron. I was like one of those two dudes is just gonna chew us up. Like, which I do feel like Norman Lott had like 85 tackles.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy just us being able to pass for the first time this year. It was very, very promising, but.
Crazy stat to this game was no turnovers between either team.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's crazy. I didn't even realize that. Because that's usually just like second nature. We'll just like give it to the other team.
Somebody's gonna turn the ball over. Yeah, no turnovers.
That's crazy.
So pretty clean game.
Yeah. Ray Davis was he scored the first touchdown?
I think so.
But he is the first Wildcat to score a touchdown in 8 straight games. So, yeah, shout out to Ray. But the issue, so I said offensively, like, obviously, amazing game for us. Like, it was, like, yeah, we lost, but, like, once I was able to just sit back Sunday, and I was like, man, that was fun. Like, we actually scored and, like, moved the ball. But there was a 4th and 6. I think we threw a wheel route to DSK. He's like our second or third string running back on a wheel route on 4th and 6. That makes no sense at all. There was a 4th and 2. I think that's when we ran a Wildcat, which we haven't done the entire year. That one got stopped. And then a 4th and 1 early on in the game. That 4th and 1 early that y'all stopped us. I think it was our second drive.
Oh, on your all's like own 30-yard line.
Yeah, that was like the first time we went forward on 4th the entire season.
Me and my dad were just talking, and I was like, we couldn't believe they just went for it, like, on their own 30. Yeah. I was like...
That was when I was watching it, and I was in the backseat of this, in the truck, and I was with some other people. I was like, there's actually no way we're going for this right now. I was like, we're on our own 30. There's no way we fully actually go for this. And I was like, we haven't gone for it the entire year. Like, what are we even going to run right here? And then we ran the worst tush push of all time. That it never stood a chance. And we have a small quarterback. Like, what? Like, what's the...
Yeah.
It just makes no sense on why we tried to do that at all. And, yeah, on our own 30, it was just ridiculous. But, yeah, I will say, if we would have done this podcast, like, Saturday night after the game, I would have just like, said some crazy stuff. I was so mad. I was just like, look, when it comes to Kentucky, it's like, we're a basketball school, obviously. Like, football records will, forever just be bad for us and stuff. But, like... Then it was Tennessee's won 36 of the last 39. So the 3 was 2010, 2017, and 2020. And you could argue the last 2 that we've played at Kroger Field, like, we should have won. It's just every year we just lose to Tennessee. And, like, last year was a blowout. But every year we just lose to Tennessee in, like, a close one on stuff that we just screw ourselves over on. And that would just be for... ever. That's how it'll always be. And we'll just never beat Tennessee in football. It's just going to be like that forever. That's just like, I don't know. I just can't even, I just don't see a world where, we ever beat Tennessee. Like, I went into the season predicting that we lose this game, but then I didn't know it was going to be like this. Like,
yeah. Of
course it's going to be close. Why would it not? So, yeah, I was just crushed after the game. I was so upset. I was just like, man, it was just, I don't know. It's just that border battle, and, obviously, there's not too many Tennessee fans around here. So, I don't know, with the whole, beef into the rivalry, me and you just don't really bring it up. Yeah. We just kind of talk about the highlights of each team and, all that. But, I don't know. That rivalry is just... I will say, shout out to, our... social media team, because they somehow made a hype video that got me hyped up over a rivalry that has been absolutely dominant for Tennessee. So yeah, somehow they made a tough video out of it, but out of our 3 wins ever. So, but it's crazy. Y'all had that.
Oh, I think they showed that there.
Did they? It was a minute long.
Yeah, they showed that.
Yeah, somehow they made it look cool, didn't they? Somehow that rivalry's been absolutely owned.
I was like, by the judge in this video, looks like Kentucky just craps on us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you would think like we win the rivalry or something like. Yeah, that don't happen. Like, I don't even know what the all-time series is, but like, y'all had won 26 straight until 2010. That's just insane. Bring back the beer barrel though. Like,
dude, they need to. That'd be sick.
It'd be awesome. Like, I remembered the reason when we talked about that like last week. I remember the reason why they stopped it. Now, it wasn't because it was like wasn't legal at the stadiums. It was because in like 98 or 99 or something, either for Tennessee or for Kentucky, one player like passed away by a drunk driver hitting him or something.
Oh,
and it was the week of the rivalry, or like the day before maybe, and so that's why they got rid of it because like.
Yeah, they're not bringing it back then.
Yeah,
I was about to say it has to be after Peyton Manning because there's like a legendary picture of Peyton Manning holding it up. Yeah,
I've seen that. There's really like only pictures with that barrel with Tennessee players though. He's like, we just never won it. Like, I would venture to say there's probably like one win for us on that because it stopped before we even won in 2010. So like, I mean, yeah, that thing's just probably covered with orange, but it was a sick trophy. It would be cool. Be cool to bring it back, or just bring something back. Because, I mean, this rivalry might not be played every year. Like once the SEC like switches the schedule or whatever, but if it's going to be played, we should have a trophy.
We should.
Because it's a border battle. Like every border has those. Oh, even if, because I know the LSU Arkansas one just has the two states on a trophy, like stacked on top of each other, like how it would be on a map. So we just do that. Like that'd be sick.
That would be sick.
Yeah, like, and we're both the state schools, so like it's just awesome. Like it needs a rivalry trophy. But one note: Kentucky, we did not win a game in October, so we haven't won a game since September 30th, which was Florida. Yeah, it's
good win though.
It was a good win, but then it's been at Georgia where we probably couldn't lose by more, and then Missouri at home, worst loss in years for Stoops, and then we had a bye week, and then we lost again. Yeah, it's bad. Bad little run right here. And then we go to Mississippi State this week, where we haven't won a game there since 2008. So
that's rough.
Yeah, brutal. It's a tough time, but especially a night game with cowbells.
Oh my god, that
it's
horrible.
Gonna be miserable. We just don't win there. I mean, they're so bad. Surely we can beat Mississippi State this year.
Yeah.
Surely we can end this streak.
Devin Leary's throwing like how he just did against us. Like, yeah, Mississippi State don't have a chance.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, if he throws like that, like we can legitimately get like 3 of these last 4. But this is a very shocking thing though. I need your thoughts on it because we've both seen Kentucky has been bad in football like our whole life, right? Till like 2017, 2018 was the first really good year, but there were actually fans on the post-game show that had the nerve to say we might need to look for somebody other than Stoops. Like that he's our all-time winningest coach. I never thought we'd win like more than 7 games ever in a season. We've had 2 10-win seasons.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I was like, bro.
He's done more for Kentucky football than I feel like.
I didn't think it was possible to do this much.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, people actually had the nerve to say that. It was bad. I couldn't believe like people actually thought that was a possibility. But
it's crazy.
Yeah, there is one like obviously he's brought us to this like these levels that we didn't know existed, but he just can't beat Tennessee. He's like. So he came here in 2013, so like 10. So he's like 2-8 versus the Bulls. Mm-hmm. So not a good look for Stoops. That is the one thing like he just can't. And if you watch, I can show you like after like there's this clip of on KSR they do this thing called rapid reaction like right after the game they do something, and I don't remember which one it is, but he's just absolutely screaming, and it was like I saw a lot of Tennessee fans like making fun of him. They were like, "Yo, he's mad," and I was like, "Yeah, it's bad," but. He's like, dude, I'm so sick of it. He's like, we always lose to this team. We can't ever beat them. Like, he was like nearly crying. But, yeah, that's just kind of how the fan base is at this point. Like, and I don't think, like, I don't know. That's just kind of like the last hurdle. Other than, like, Georgia, which Georgia is, like, untouchable. Like, you just can't beat Tennessee. That's the last thing. Well, and winning at Mississippi State because he's never done it as the head coach. So, those two things are like the two that probably won't end if we're just being honest. There's big sample size now, but
yeah, it's like Tennessee and Florida. Like we just can't beat Florida. I don't know why. I mean, we beat them in 2016, I think. I think it was 2016.
Yeah, at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like when we first had the Smoky Grays, I think.
Oh, was that like the first? That was when they like came out.
Yeah, I think that's when they debuted them. Yeah, it had to be.
That might be the secret then.
But dude.
Well, y'all beat them last year at home, right?
Florida just always plays amazing, and then we just don't play like ourselves.
It's probably like what Missouri says about Tennessee too. like it ain't even like we can't even compete with this team, bro. I get it. They're probably just in shambles.
They'll give us a better fight this year, though. Missouri
maybe.
Maybe.
Y'all won like 63-20 last year, didn't you? And then 2 years
it's been
ago,
like the past 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, 2 years ago, y'all won like.
It's always our fun game. Like I consider that our fun game.
It's so sad to just say that about an SEC team. Like, oh, that game's fun. Let's see, Tennessee versus Missouri.
Like in the past years, Vanderbilt has gave us more of a fight or like competition than Missouri has, which is
okay. So
beyond
dang, y'all
crazy.
only started playing when they came in the conference. Yeah, y'all won 66-24 last year, and the year before that, so 2021, y'all won 62-24. That was when y'all ran for like 500.
Yeah.
And then 2020, y'all won 35-12. Okay, it was close in 2019, 24-20. Then 50-17. Wait. Oh, they beat you all 50-17.
Wait, when was that? 20 what?
18? Was that Pruitt?
Yeah.
Was it his first year? Was that what that year was?
I don't think so.
That should have been a sign right there. Or wait, there's no way. Did y'all lose? Y'all lost 50-17 back-to-back years, the same score. Then y'all won. Good lord, 63-37. What is y'all like? How do y'all just put 60 on them? Yeah, y'all just beat the brakes off these dudes.
That was like
it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than if you just take away the Pruitt years, y'all just average beat them by like 50. That's wild. They got to be so sick of Tennessee by now.
Yeah.
Well, y'all will play them there, right? In a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they don't really have a stadium to be worried about.
We play UConn. Actually, I think it's UConn and then Missouri.
Yeah, y'all are like a 33-point favorite over UConn, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I
think they're like 1-7.
Yeah, it's really bad. That'll be a fun game. So, but yeah, I mean, Missouri doesn't have quite an intimidating crowd, so I don't know if their crowd will really be involved in the game that y'all play.
Yeah. I don't think there will be a UConn fan there.
Oh, for you? No. There can't be. Like, I know y'all have that section.
Maybe just to come see, like, Neyland Stadium, but I feel like
it's got to be only family. Like, if there's anybody that's not family, it's literally they're just a football
weird.
fan, and they just want to see the stadium. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. But and one more brutal stat for us: Kentucky is 2-6 in our last 8 SEC home games.
Mm.
So that includes Georgia, South Carolina last year. Will Levis didn't play, but still lost it. Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee. I don't remember who we lost to last year. Like, our 2 wins in those is Florida and Mississippi State. That's pretty bad. That's rough. Yeah. But, yeah. So, instead of depressing, for you all, it's happy. For, like, first true road win of the season. So, that's good.
True. Thank the Lord for our running game.
Yeah. Yeah. That was one, like, we literally just couldn't tackle. We couldn't tackle y'all to save our life. Like, that one play, Deion Walker hit Dylan Sampson like 2 yards behind the line, and it was like 3rd and 13. And he got the first.
He just bounced out?
Yeah. That was the play where I was like, yeah, we are winning. That was like, I think it was like late 3rd when that happened, and I was like, yep, there it is. That's the game. And then late in the game, that was when Joe Milton had that run on like 3rd and 12 and got it. So it just felt like every 3rd down, it was like, well, they'll just run it, and then they'll just get it. But Yeah, how many rushing yards did y'all have in this game?
257, I think.
That is insane. That's ridiculous. And like, hold on, did Joe Milton even throw an incomplete pass? I feel like I don't remember him throwing an incompletion.
3.
Three?
I think it was 18 for 21.
18 for 21, 228 yards, 1 touchdown. That touchdown made me so mad. He tripped on air. He just fell.
Oh yeah.
For no reason. Yeah, that was bad.
I thought seeing the touchdown in person, I thought he overthrew him.
Oh really?
I was like, I just put my hands on my head, and then I seen the receiver slow down a little bit, and I was like, no way, he didn't overthrow. I was like, let's go.
What was that? Who was that receiver? Chaz Nimrod? Is that his name?
Yeah. First touchdown.
I was about to say that's probably his first one because when we were watching it live, I've just known a lot about Tennessee from watching and then from just talking to you about them. And I was like, I don't even know who that is. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, I don't know who that is that just scored. That had to be their first.
Yep, first career touchdown.
But
yeah, Joe Milton just lofted that thing up, and it looked so overthrown. And I was like, dude.
Yeah. Now y'all it was the run game. That was the story of the game. That was brutal, tough times. But is there anything like positive wise, going that you wanted to see in this that you saw that you didn't expect or something going forward? Was there any huge takeaways where you're all right, I feel a lot better? Do you think passing game wise? Because I know there's been a lot of times that you were dude, Joe, figure it out.
Oh, there was still a few plays he looked indecisive. It's he goes through his reads, but then he's second guesses oh, did I miss something? And then he's should I scramble? I don't know what to do with the ball.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a panic. This game, he looked a little better, I will say. There was just a few times he would roll out, and then he was wanting to pass, but then he's wanting to run, and then he just ends up getting sacked. But
yeah, I guess for either team, like you said, there's no turnovers, so
yeah,
that is a huge
clean
bonus.
play. That's a good takeaway.
Man,
I think we only got to Devin O'Leary once. I think we only had one sack.
Yeah, that was one. He was just getting it out quick a lot. I don't remember many routes that were more than just a crosser, but 10 yards. It was 1 second, and then
yeah.
So, I mean, there just wasn't a whole lot of time, but yeah, I know there was definitely. At least I remember a lot of penalties because of the crowd. Let's see, penalties wise. Yeah, well, y'all had 9 for 70 yards, and then we had 4 for 21 yards. We had I think it was Jeremy Flax. 3 of those penalties was holding. Jeremy Flax every time. It was well, we know what that one is. 77, Kentucky. But yeah, I think was the crowd very loud? Do you think it was getting false start penalties and stuff because that's what I saw some people tweeting about because y'all had a few false starts.
Most of our penalties were defensive hold.
Yeah,
because our secondary was just getting absolutely obliterated. So then they started holding, and it was just bad. Yeah, it was. It got pretty loud at times.
Because I know 2 years ago versus Florida, that was how we won the game. They had 10 false starts because our crowd.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was right out of halftime. We had
You all had it back to back, I think.
Yeah, I was you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say it's it's kind of funny to just think about our crowd because obviously in the SEC you got Kyle Field, Bryant Denny, Neyland Stadium, all these massive places that are obviously just going to bring noise, but Kroger Field can pack a punch when it comes to noise. Kroger Field actually gets loud. I just think a lot of fan bases don't realize that. Now for me I've been to Neyland, obviously Neyland's stupid loud, but Kentucky we actually have.
For how many people?
Yeah, for it being so small, it's actually loud. So that is a big bonus, but yeah. So I guess, and you mentioned the blue white chant. That one I like that a lot. The blue white
chant. That was the loudest thing y'all did.
How many times was Grove Street played? Because I feel we don't overuse it.
Honestly, I only heard it once.
Because I think we do. We run out to it, and then we do it at the start of the fourth.
Okay. Yep, the start of the fourth. Running out, y'all might have played it. Yeah, it was only like 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, because we don't overuse it. Louisville, whatever song they use, they play it like 85 times a game. And I'm like, dude, like they got to be sick of it by now.
Like Rocky Top, 82 times.
Yeah. Well, see, that's like the fight song though.
Yeah,
like,
that's
a little different. But like, yeah, I just feel like if you have a song, like if I don't know how many times South Carolina plays Sandstorm, but that one would have to get annoying after a minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just glad we don't overplay Waka Flocka. Like, if we just played Grove Street like 10 times, I'd be like, all right, bro. But it is goofy. Like, you'll get like a 97-year-old woman like jumping to Grove Street, and you'll also get like a 10-year-old. Like it fits everybody.
Yeah.
That one rocks. But yeah, no, I think for you all, like I was like, you know what, Cade is probably happy with this win because it's a tough.
It wasn't pretty, but he got out of there.
Yeah, a tough game. And what is y'all's kicker's name? Because last year was McGrath, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Whoever this guy, he won the SEC Special Teams Player of the Week.
Sick.
So yeah, he hit what? Well, y'all had 33.
4?
So yeah, y'all had 4 field goals, yeah, and then 3 extra points. That was another thing. Like, our defense has allowed a whole lot of points, but somehow we run like away defense until the red zone. We're like, all right, let's just lock in, and like teams just get like 85 points off field goals. That's our only thing. Like those, because like there was that play that our DB just tripped. So like you can't take away points, but like if you take away that one, y'all just scored 2 touchdowns that were like actual drives. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I don't know whether you feel good or they still scored 33. So I don't know. Our defense has allowed like 120 points in the last 3 weeks.
Dang.
Or 3 games. Yeah, it's bad. It was 51 to Georgia. I think that's what they scored, like 51, 38, and 33. So, tough look for Brad White. Because we've been worried about him like leaving for being a head coach somewhere else. But, yeah, I don't know if you want a guy that's allowed 120-something points. But
right.
So, Colorado at number 23, UCLA. Bruins got it done, 28-16. And UCLA wore throwbacks. Did you see these? These were some sick throwbacks.
No, I did not.
The helmets are kind of plain because they're just gold, but I'll throw up a picture on the screen. These were beautiful. I love these so much. Colorado went up 3-0 to start, and then you might have seen the Travis Hunter interception. You see that on?
Yeah.
That was nuts. Yeah. That was crazy. He outsmarted Ethan Garbers. Like, he was just like, yeah, I'm just better than you are. But yeah, then he had another pick in the second quarter. But the Ethan Garbers led Bruins, continues to move the ball throughout the game. They just did everything that they needed, like just little stuff. And then it was kind of a boring first half, though, 7-6 at half. But do you think, I think it was in the third when it happened, that Shiloh should have been thrown out for that hit that he had? Did you see that?
I did not.
He was coming down on, I personally don't think he should have been thrown out. He got targeting called on him. But that kind of like shifted the game to me. Like, that moved UCLA down. They ended up scoring on that. But I just think it was kind of a weak call. But UCLA had 7 sacks, which led to Dion after the game saying, the big picture, you go get new linemen. That's the picture. And I'm going to paint it perfectly. So that was a very Dion quote. But UCLA actually had 4 turnovers to Colorado's 0 turnovers, and UCLA still managed to win by 12. So it was just straight offense.
It's not good.
UCLA, if they can just figure out who their quarterback's going to be, they'll be set. Because they've played Dante Moore, Colin Schley, and Ethan Garbers this year. If they just find their like one QB that they're going to stick with, like they could actually be legit. That's their only issue, though. Mm-hmm. But the Bruins pressured Shedeur on 26 of his 56 dropbacks in this game. The 6th most pressures of any team recorded in one game this year. So, like Dion said, the big picture,
time to go
you get new linemen. And I'm sure you had seen this. Colorado players had jewelry stolen in the locker room.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that was bad. But
how?
yeah, how do you not lock up the locker room? Like, Yeah, it's honestly sad that like people are doing that.
I wonder if they found out who it was.
I don't know. I hope so, because like that's terrible. These are college kids. Yeah, it is hard earned money because NIL they have to practice. It's a full-time job, and if that's what they buy with it, like whatever, like, and they're just gonna go take their jewelry. Jewelry's not cheap. Like that's one thing. But yeah, Travis Hunter on his, I think it was like 12 Talk is what his podcast or whatever, his stream, and he was just like, I ain't taking nothing to games anymore. He's like, I'm gonna take my book bag and like a couple shoes or something for the game, and that's it. And I was like, yeah. I mean, it's a sad reality, but yeah, you probably got to do that.
Yeah.
If people are out there just taking it. Okay, then we get to College Game Day. Number 8, Oregon at number 13, Utah. And I expected Utah to keep that streak going, their home winning streak, but you picked Oregon and you were correct. But it was dominant. Ducks won 35-6. Like I said, the 18-game home winning streak is over officially. So, in a dominating fashion. But did you see Utah's helmets that they wore for the game? It was a shout-out to their student section. So it said the Muss on a flag on the side of their helmet. It was like hand-painted. The Muss is Mighty Utah student section. So it was actually kind of sick. I thought that was a cool touch. And then Oregon, just as always, they just have beautiful uniforms.
Always.
But this game, I think, just proved that Oregon is on a mission. Like they're not playing around anymore. The one loss is all it's going to take. They scored their first touchdown in less than 3 minutes. But Bo Nix was just making plays. His second touchdown, if y'all haven't seen it, go look at that. His second touchdown is crazy. He did some like Madden stuff. Like he was like juking in the pocket and like falling off like his heels, throwing it. It was wild. But like I said, Bo Nix was balling. He didn't throw his second incomplete pass until 2 minutes left in the half. He was 14 of 16, 142 yards and 2 touchdowns at half. So he was just locked in. The most exciting play for Utah all game was the reverse kickoff with 8:30 left in the third. It was so pointless. They kicked it to like the left of the end zone. The guy just stood there with the ball, and they just threw it across to the other side of the field, and it got him to like the 40 or something. That was their best play of the entire game. But first time since 2018 that Utah was held without a scoring touchdown, or without a score in the game. So they obviously got a couple field goals, but they didn't score a single touchdown. They just got clamped. Like they weren't even like getting close most of the time either. Like they 3 and outs, just getting sacked, like fumbles. Like Oregon just dominated both sides of the ball this game. Oregon ran for 142 yards and 3 touchdowns on what was the 5th best rushing defense in the country. So proved to not be.
Yep.
And Dan Lanning finally got his first road win versus a ranked opponent as a head coach. So big win there. And another sad fact for Utah. So this is their 3rd worst conference loss since joining the Pac-12 in 2011. But there was also some stat during the game of like, I don't know how they even like figured the stat out, but how dominant Oregon was. It was like they at one point they had like 10 yards of offense. There was like a couple penalties or something, but they had like 10 yards of offense at like some point in the second quarter. Mm-hmm. It was wild. It was a crazy dominant performance. But Bo Nix has had at least 70% completion percentage and multiple passing touchdowns in 9 straight games, passing Kellen Moore in 2010 for the longest streak by an FBS player in the past 20 seasons. So Bo Nix has been
sick
on a tear. And I think that was his 55th college start. So I think that now is the record, I think. Or no, I think 57 is the all-time record. So, yeah, he'll make history one way or another this year. But Kirk Herbstreit did say if he could pick one team he doesn't want to play, it is the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they just played so dominant. Like, that was such a promising game if you're an Oregon fan. You just got to love that one. So, celebration of the week. Mine is actually a twofer because I had 2 teams that did the exact same dance. The Bengals did it first. The Lions did it second. They did the Thriller dance after. I think they were both after a pick. So, obviously, Halloween weekend. do the Thriller dance.
Go ahead and show us. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
No, I don't want to do it, Justin. But what do you got for yours?
Celebration of the week. If you're an NBA fan, you know who Joel Embiid is.
Yep.
He
Good basketball player.
He pulled out the Triple H celebration.
Yeah. We aren't going to show you. We're not going to play it on the podcast. But if you don't know what it is, look it up.
Yep. So it was like an AM1. He like turned around to the, I guess, crowd basically on live TV, did the Triple H celebration, and was actually fined $35,000.
Yeah.
It's an expensive celebration.
Yeah, I think he did it at one point last year. I don't know if he got fined or something, or if it was like a warning. This ought to get him to stop doing that.
Yeah.
If all you got to do is just not do that for getting $35,000 fine. But the all-time celebration, though, that was awesome. Got to say. Shout out to Joel. So Week 10 college football. One little side point before we get into the actual games. Iowa versus Northwestern this weekend has an over-under of 29.5. The lowest over-under ever.
That's poop.
Yeah, that's bad. I don't even know if, you'd have to fall asleep watching this game.
Oh, for sure.
Even if you're a fan. This game's going to be so boring. I don't even know where that one's at, but, boy, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
So getting into the big games, number 25 Kansas State at number 7 Texas. No Quinn Ewers, obviously, but I think Texas gets it done. And Malik Murphy balls out, and they win 37-20. So who you got in this one?
In this one, I got Texas. Even without Quinn, I think Texas can get it done. Texas has played great this year. Quinn, he was a big part of this team throughout the year, but I got Texas 27-17.
Then we have, mentioned it earlier, number 12 Notre Dame at Clemson. Unranked Clemson, 4-4 Clemson. It's going to be crazy, but I do think if Death Valley, Dabo called that guy out on that call and said the appreciation is less than, or the expectation is more than the appreciation.
Yep.
I think the appreciation shows. Death Valley is packed, and I think Clemson gets it done when their backs are against the wall. They win 27-20 and upset the Irish.
Yep. I think Notre Dame goes in there and wins it even at Clemson. Sam Hartman, I like the way the man's been playing. He's a baller. I got Notre Dame 34-31.
Yeah, I did. It just hit me when we did our preseason playoff predictions. I had Clemson in it, so they're now 4-4. No matter what happens, they are not going to make it. I don't know what made me say that. I don't know if it's I'm a Cade Klubnik truther, so maybe that was part of it. But I don't know. Bad look though. That was like Desmond Howard's last year. Number 14, Missouri, travels to Athens and plays number 1, Georgia. No Brock Bowers still, but I think Georgia just dominates. Now, they're not number 1. They're number 2. So I think that's kind of Kirby Smart can find anything and turn it into throwing a chip on your shoulder and figuring out how to motivate you. And Georgia's going to dominate. 52-17 is my prediction for the score.
Yeah, I like that score prediction a lot. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bulldogs. 26 games in a row is...
Sounds good.
Yeah. Why not make it 27?
Yeah.
Missouri having a great year, but, Georgia's just...
They're still Georgia.
Yeah. I think it's going to be another big win for them. I got Georgia 49-23.
Then we have Bedlam. So we have number 9, Oklahoma at Oklahoma State, which I think was Oklahoma State 23. They're 22.
22.
Okay, so I got Oklahoma going on the road still, winning 34-31 in the close one. Who you got?
Yeah, I got Oklahoma. Winning by touchdown, 35-27.
And then we got a big game out west, number 5 Washington at number 20 USC. I'm actually taking USC in the upset. These games, we're not putting money on them. Screw it. Taking the Trojans at home. Do I legitimately think it'll happen if Washington wants to make the playoffs? No. But I just think with USC's offense, they can figure out something to get it done. And if the defense can just figure out a couple possessions of the game, how to get a stop, there's a world where they can get it done. So I'm taking USC 45-38. Who you got?
I feel like I can see into the future, and I feel like I could see Washington winning out the rest of the season if they win this game, and I think they do. Washington 34-28.
Yeah, if they win out, man, it's going to be hard to keep them out of the top 2 in the country, probably.
Yeah.
Top 3 minimum. But then we have College Game Day this week going to T-Town. So we have, I never knew it was even called this. It's also known as the first Saturday in November. They're just taking the third Saturday in October.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just want to rip off a name. But the better name for it, the Saban Bowl. That's a sick name for it. Number 14, LSU, at number 8, Alabama. Alabama's a 3-point favorite. Last year, obviously, y'all know the game. We mentioned it earlier. LSU won on the last-second game-winning 2-point conversion. But this has been a series that Alabama's owned. Alabama leads the all-time series 55-27. It's been played annually since 1964. So this is a game every year that both fan bases are hyped for. Alabama has dominated recently, though. Alabama has won 10 of the last 12 in this rivalry.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so it's been rough.
It doesn't feel like that, but I guess they have.
I know. 2019 and last year were the only other ones. Brett McMurphy on Twitter, he said, so this was a stat that he put out, LSU's Jaden Daniels is trying to become the first starting quarterback to beat Nick Saban in consecutive seasons since Purdue's Drew Brees in 98-99 when Saban was at Michigan State. Saban has never lost consecutive seasons to the same QB at Alabama.
Ooh.
Yeah. Tough.
Script's looking nice.
Yeah, the script does look nice. I've heard of that Drew Brees guy, too. But, yeah, it is a shocking stat. I mean, it's not super shocking because, like, Saban is, like, Saban.
Yeah.
Like, never losing consecutive seasons to, like, even his early years of Alabama. Like, it's just nuts.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's crazy. But I think Alabama gets it done by 10, 37-27.
Same. I actually have the same spread. I got Alabama 24-14.
Yeah, that's a big game. That's crucial. Alabama, they haven't lost to, I'm assuming this is still right. They haven't lost to the same team back-to-back years since Ole Miss. In what, like 14, 15?
Yeah.
Might have been 15, 16. I don't remember. But, yeah, they got to win this. Mm-hmm. You can't drop this one. Like I said, college football playoff rankings came out today. For the first time, and the biggest takeaway is obviously who was number 1. Ohio State was ranked number 1.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah, it is wild. Their argument is they have the best 2 wins. They beat Penn State, a top 10 team, and then they won on the road at a top 10 opponent, Notre Dame. So obviously they have those 2, but like, I don't see how you can penalize Georgia. They're playing who they're supposed to play. They play who they're like. They have to play.
Lost.
Yeah, they haven't lost. I know it's just for this year, but they haven't lost in 2 years. Like, I don't know what you want from them. Like, what more are they supposed to do? They just played like their hardest opponent this season so far, and they beat them 43-20.
Yeah,
like they just dominated. But Georgia was too. So if Ohio State slips up or anything, I mean they'll slide back in. But yeah, so Michigan was 3, Florida State was 4 as of right now, and the first 2 out was Washington and Oregon. So those teams are very close in there. But then the other teams that I think have a chance to make it, Texas at 7, Alabama at 8, Oklahoma at 9 is tough. I'm not a full believer after seeing their past couple games. And then Ole Miss at 10. Do you think this is the first year? I mean, in the first playoff ranking ever, they were in it. So now, I mean, they're 10. I mean, I don't even think Ole Miss fans truly believe that they can make it to Atlanta. But
yeah,
I think they would just have to win out, and then hope. I don't even know if they'd have to. They'd probably have to just win in Atlanta if they wanted to make the playoff.
Yeah,
but I mean, they got to be. They're sitting at a comfortable spot, and then 11 Penn State. If Penn State just goes, like they play Michigan at home, if they just beat Michigan, they're gonna shoot right up. Like,
yep,
they'd be chilling there. But your Vols at 17. Do you like the spot?
You know, I'd always say I want us higher, but what really hurt us is, man, we had the Alabama game 1. That would have really helped, and maybe not losing as bad to Florida, or if not at all.
Yeah. Because y'all were 19 in the AP poll?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, they give y'all respect.
Yeah, respect. Up 2 spots.
Yeah, so it is. The shocking thing is obviously the Pac-12's last year, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Pac-12 teams in the college football playoff ranking. That's wild. Man, I wish this wasn't happening. I wish this was not the last year of it. But, yeah, it's crazy. I feel like that's a good spot for Tennessee. Like, all those top teams, and I mean, for you all too, like, if y'all just control your own destiny. So, like,
Yeah.
if you just win out, like, obviously it's going to be tough.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you'll get Georgia at home. Other than that, at Missouri will probably be tough. But, I mean, there's a world where y'all can just keep rising.
Happen.
And y'all are kind of just like a dark horse sitting at 17. And then if y'all were to win out, then, I mean, there it is.
Something could happen.
But, yeah, other than I would flip Ohio State. And honestly, I would have put Ohio State at 3, Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2.
I like that.
That's what I would have done. I mean, I get it. Ohio State's got 2 good wins, but they've also shown some bad games so far. And Michigan's just dominated in all theirs. But some stocks of the week. So I will be buying stock in Kentucky Wesleyan. So Kentucky Wesleyan, that's a Division II team in our state. Obviously, small school. They play Louisville in an exhibition, and they beat them 71-68. So shout out to Kentucky Wesleyan. All the homies love to see Louisville fail. Everybody loves that. Louisville stinks. It's cool. I mean, Kenny Payne probably won't last. All right. I would set the over-under for him being fired at, like, if you put it at January 1st, I'm taking the under. I think that dude's out of there in December.
Okay.
And honestly, I would take him back. Obviously, he was at Kentucky for, like, 8, 9 years. He might have just came when Cal got there, but he left Kentucky in like 2019, and he was like he was just kind of the big man guru. Mm-hmm. So I think he came with Cal. So DeMarcus Cousins, Karl Anthony Towns, Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, pretty good big men, and he was the coach of those guys. So I would gladly take him back if he wants to come back. Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Kentucky Wesleyan, huge win. So what do you got for your stock?
This week I got the very own Tennessee basketball. Big win over an exhibition game. 89-88 over Michigan State. So, man, feels good. And we were missing 2 guards.
Yeah.
Sakai and
Vescovy.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all looked good. Dalton Connect and Jordan Gainey balled.
Played well. Very well.
Those two alone made your offense look like 50 times what it was last year, in my opinion. Like, the defense is obviously, like, still very good, which is tough to say in a game that was 89-81, or 89-88. But, I mean, I don't know. Y'all's defense still looked good. Like, early, y'all went up 17-1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't do that with, like, lackadaisical defense. Like, that's just...
Yeah.
And you can't tell me, like, exhibitions don't matter. These dudes played hard.
They did.
This was a battle. And America's getting their first few glimpses of Cohen Carr from Michigan State. He caught that lob.
Dude is nuts.
He caught the lob, and then the next possession, he just beat it into the first row. Yeah.
That dude's crazy.
He's fun to watch. He's fun. And, I mean, Michigan State's going to be a very good team this year. They're obviously ranked 4th, so that's a good win in the Breslin Center. So, y'all look good. Definitely a good stock to buy right now.
Yeah.
Selling stock in keeping it baseball with it still being baseball season. Selling stock in the Astros. They lost in the ALCS, obviously, but Dusty Baker retired for him. A legend. He was a manager for 26 seasons, 2,183 wins, which is 7th most all time. 2022 World Series victory, 3-time Manager of the Year, and 3 pennants. And also Reds legend. So he's another one of those guys where we had him, and he went somewhere else and was even better. So
always, every time.
Yeah, that's what happens for us. But yeah, Dusty Baker's a legend. Like, I'll miss that dude just sitting there. I don't know if he was just sitting on the bucket of balls, but he just always have a toothpick in his mouth, posted. Yeah, what a legend. But yeah, shout out to him for retirement. What an amazing career. Astros in shambles.
In shambles. This week, selling stock in a particular player, Chris Paul.
CP3, man.
Yeah, after 1,365 starts straight, 19 years in the NBA, and has never came off the bench until October 29th.
It happened.
It happened.
It's crazy. It's so wild because like even LeBron has come off the bench before he did.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, like LeBron came off the bench. I think it was because of the injury or something like last year. But like dude's come off the bench before.
I wonder how he was feeling like coming off the bench. I bet he was like, "This is weird."
I don't know. Like that's got to feel so weird. Like
to not be out there on tip off.
I wonder if like part of it was like stubborn. Like at one point in his career, like so it was like, hey, we're thinking about bringing you off the bench, Chris. Like, nah.
He's like, no, I don't sit the bench.
No,
like,
I'm
a starter.
I appreciate it though, for real. Nah, yeah, yeah. It's crazy though. Like 19 years and it's the first time.
Yeah,
like, legends have come off the bench before he did, so that's crazy. Speaking of MLB though, we'll sum up right now. So the Rangers walk off game 1. Adolis Garcia hit a walk off. Game 2 was when Adolis got hurt. Out for the series, and Max Scherzer. Mad Max out. But Adolis Garcia had 22 RBIs this postseason, MLB record. And 8 home runs for him also. Tied for second most in MLB postseason history. And then game 3, which I didn't get to watch this one. You watched this one. Rangers win 3-1 on the road. First team in MLB history to win 9 straight road games in the postseason. And after game 3, Ketel Marte, 18-game hitting streak, longest in postseason history. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is something. That's impressive. Yeah, game 3 was it got pretty intense there in the 8th inning. Diamondbacks started to rally, but then hit into a double play. Killed the momentum. The Rangers took it. So
yeah, and this one we weren't watching, but we were keeping up with it. The Rangers were up 10-0 in the 4th, I think it was, and it ended 11-7. So the Diamondbacks battled back.
They rallied again.
Yeah, they rallied again. So, so I think there should be one more in Arizona. I think because I'm pretty sure MLB does 2-3-2, and I'm pretty sure the Rangers were home for the first 2. So there should be one more, which apparently on the road doesn't matter anyways because the Rangers win on the road anyway. So
yeah.
So yeah, the Rangers are up 3-1. So will we see the second ever 3-1 comeback? Or do you think the Rangers just steal it?
I hope so. Though, I don't know. I like both of the teams in the World Series this year. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Mad Max get a ring would be sick.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, seeing Brandon Pfaadt get a ring would be awesome. Also.
That would be cool.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know who I would want to win that one. I'm all for Game 7 World Series, though.
Same.
More
baseball.
Yeah, more baseball rocks. October baseball going into November, sick. I'm here for it. So to wrap this up a little bit, like we said, college basketball is officially back. So there was the Tennessee-Michigan State game that you had brought up. But Kansas and Illinois played, and Kansas wore some Maui-themed jerseys, which looked sick. I don't know if you saw these, but it was like flowers on the jerseys. So it was awesome. And Monday is when it tips off. So college basketball will be back Monday officially. But I need to ask you about some of this, or at least talk about it. So ACC 2024 football schedule came out. Did you get to see any of the matchups for that one?
I did not get to see that.
So
I didn't even know that came out.
Yeah, one interesting takeaway.
Slacking.
Stanford will play at Syracuse. That'll be a haul.
Stanford at Syracuse.
Yeah, that's going to be far. And what was the other?
Yeah, that's good ways.
There was another crazy one. I don't remember. Oh, well, okay. One thing, Louisville will have to travel to Stanford, so that's going to suck. Miami will have to travel to Cal.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
That's literally
The country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be like 2,000, almost 3,000 miles.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be brutal. Like, I mean, even like Boston College, SMU, like that should not happen either. Like, it's going to be so stupid. And
We're not here for it.
They did the 2025 schedule, and like Cal plays Boston College. That's ridiculous. That should never happen. Stanford will be playing North Carolina, Miami. Dude, yeah,
weird.
It's ridiculous, dude. These guys are actually gonna be dog tired. Like they're gonna be dead. Like, could you imagine basketball?
And it's gonna cost more money for the school.
Yeah,
all the traveling and stuff.
Yeah, it can't be worth it. There's no way. Bring back the
shot.
Pac-12. Like
Yeah.
The Pac-12 needs to be a thing.
I wish I would just wake up one day and get the alert and be like, the NCAA said, hold up.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
We're going to keep the Pac-12.
Some ain't right. Yeah.
It's just not going to be the same.
I know.
I'm not a fan of change.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Sports in general won't be the same. I ended up being okay with the Texas-Oklahoma one, but if you could just go back in time and be like, all right, no, they can stay in the Big 12 and everything stayed the same, I'd be here for it.
Yeah.
I'd be all in. And one last thing, I think this is what I sold stock in last week. Michigan football, obviously, all the stuff has come out. Connor Stallions, all the sign stealing and stuff. But the Vols have been entered into the chat for this. So we saw the video. Jack Mack of Barstool talked about it. So there was basically proof that Connor Stallions got tape of Tennessee and Clemson because he wouldn't want to play either of those teams in the college football playoff. Michigan in general wouldn't want to play those teams, which obviously Tennessee was the hottest team in the country, number one in the college football playoff at the time. He goes and steals signs and gives them to South Carolina. Spencer Rattler, before that game, had struggled to go for over 212 in passing for the year. Mm-hmm. But then they go out. South Carolina the week before had scored 6 points versus Florida. They scored 63 versus Tennessee. And he throws for like 450 and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's just weird. There's so many things that it just makes so much sense. And y'all thought I hated Michigan before? I have no idea.
And that was the only game of the season that South Carolina players wore wristbands on defense.
Yeah. It's obvious.
Yeah. Everything adds up. It all makes sense. And then even for the Clemson game, that was the second best opponent other than Tennessee that they played the whole year, and he threw for like 400 again, and they beat them. So like, it's just proven. And he's so stupid about it too because he's doing public transactions.
Yeah,
you're putting your government name and you're saying what it is. It's crazy. It's so wild. And it came out that he sent somebody, he paid somebody on Venmo to go to the Ohio State-Georgia game last year in case Michigan had won and they played Georgia in the Natty. So he sent somebody to go dress in Ohio State gear and catch Georgia's signs for that game. So
yeah, it's
messed up.
It's like exploded into all this different stuff. So
yeah,
it's bigger than what people thought it was.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think honestly, like this is probably, if this all comes out to be true, this will actually be like the biggest scandal in college sports.
Tennessee demands a ring. We would have won the net. No, I'm just kidding.
We would have won it. Give us the ring.
But just think of like if we would have beat South Carolina, and it tears me up on the inside.
Yeah. As soon as I had seen it, I was like, dang, Cade already hated Michigan. He's gonna hate him even more now. Like, it is sad though. It's like, come on, bro.
It's like what could have been.
Yeah, it's a sad time. But yeah, if this actually ends up coming, like, there's been like people paying players and all that, but like, this will actually be like the biggest ever, probably. Like, this is a crazy scandal.
Yeah.
And then what were the other ones? So Shane Beamer's been caught before getting signs from other teams or something. So that was one connection that they already had. And then South Carolina's DB coach, or there's some connection, like South Carolina's like DB coach played under Harbaugh when he was a DC or something. Like, they have a connection there. There's just like 85 connections, and it all leads to just cheating. So, not a good look for Michigan.
Yeah, wait till more comes out. I bet there's more people intertwined with it.
Yeah, and the one came out today of the picture of Connor Stallions in a Central Michigan shirt and hat at a Central Michigan versus Michigan State game. Well, so he stole their signs too. Who they just beat 49-0. So, not a good look. It's not at all. And we mentioned it last week, that video of when C.J. Stroud audibled the call, and you can see Connor Stallions in the background look over at Ryan Day and then yell at the defense and point up, and then they stop him on that play. So, yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. Like, it makes you sad for, like, what college football could have been. Like, maybe Michigan wouldn't have been in the playoff. Like, I don't know. It's just sad. It really is. But yeah, I guess I don't know why it took us the entire podcast to mention Happy Halloween.
Oh yeah,
I had completely forgot.
It is podcast Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween podcast for the people. But is there any last things that you got? Okay, wait. Best Halloween costume you've seen this year?
All right.
I had mine.
Go ahead and say yours because I'm thinking on mine.
Okay, mine. I saw this. It was this couple with a guy and his girlfriend. The guy dressed up as Randy Johnson, and the girl was a bird that was injured with like blood on her. Because obviously Randy Johnson threw that pitch and killed the bird on his pitch. Yeah, that was iconic. That was an awesome.
That's good. I like
Genius.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought of mine.
What you got?
Heineke.
Oh,
Did you see that?
Spot on.
Dude, his wife was a car with headlights, like on her chest, like headlights. Yeah, funny, huh?
Yeah.
And then he was the deer.
Yeah,
it was funny.
Made for a good picture too. He was like,
hey, yeah, the picture was funny. I think the picture made it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good fit. And then LeBron, as always, I don't even know what he's dressed up as, but it's just he goes all out for his Halloween costumes. It's crazy. And then Wemby was Slenderman, which was perfect.
That is so fitting.
Yeah,
because Slenderman's like tall and like Wemby.
Yeah, he's just Wemby. But yeah, so I guess that'll just about do it. You got any last things?
No, y'all be safe if you're trick or treating and whatnot.
Yeah.
Have a good Halloween and
yeah, have a good Halloween, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Enjoy this great weekend of college football that we got ahead, and NFL with Cowboys and Eagles.
Yep.
And then we'll have Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, Dolphins.
Great weekend.
It'll be a good one. So thank you all. Have a great rest of the week, and be safe. Peace.
See ya.
Happy Halloween, y'all.